は不利一体。この機体も同じ。この力ご覧いただけましたか？光と裏表の影、その中でより完全な私を。
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Xanthos Vice here, and we are finally back with some more Punishing Grey Raven. I hope you guys had a great day today. Sorry it took me a while to actually do the stream for tonight. I'll be honest, I just wasn't feeling that well. Initially, I'm a lot better now, but yeah, that's mainly what it was. I can't really go into anything more specific because it wasn't really anything else. But yeah, anyway, where we last left off, we had done some of the interludes to help prepare to get closer to doing Wan Chi's floating record. But before that, we have the new update with the new Bianca. I gotta say, she looks really good. And I will actually tell you guys this: it was crazy how this happened. Because first, I had to explain when it came to Wuthering Waves, I did try to pull for Yuno just to see if I could get her right. If not, it's whatever. I lost my 50-50 with that and got Encore again. Like, seriously, couldn't at least give me Verena? At least then I can have my healing support become even better, but nope. So I'm like, you know what? I'll save that for Galbrenna, right? Then when the update came in for this game, I decided to pull, right? Like, if I was lucky, I'd do it. If not, I could take my time during this. First 10 pull I did for Bianca, I automatically got her. I'm like, no way. Because I had a bunch of these saved up from the DMC5 collab. So I was like, okay, I can afford to waste some of this, right? So I did that. I actually got her first try. So I'm like, okay, let's see how I can do with the weapon. And to let you guys know, I actually did already have some of this done. I think it was at 14 out of 30. Because I actually was trying to get Karenina's hammer to help enhance my dark team, and I'm like, let's see what happens if I do one pull for Bianca's weapon. If not, then I'll be fine. Because I was like, there's actually no way it's gonna happen, right? Next thing I know, oh my fucking god, I actually got Bianca's weapon first try on the next 10 pull. I mean, to be fair, for the research, a good portion of it had already been done, so it was already gonna be close to it. But I was just so shocked. I'm like, no fucking way. So yeah, that's how I got both her weapon and Bianca, and I was able to get her to a double S rank because I did save a lot of the skull shard things from the CPP in order to what's it called? To get her rank up. So I was actually able to get it all the way to double S rank. Will I try to go for more? Probably not, but I just gotta actually have her there. I enhanced her weapon as well to get some resonance skills. I got her memories, already got those hyper tuned because I was accumulating it. Because initially I was gonna put it on I think it was Wan Chi. He was the next one I was actually gonna do it for to enhance my ice team. I was like, my dark team could really use another step up, so I decided to do that instead. And lo and behold, I now have a 7,000 or almost 7,000 BP Bianca. So before we actually go ahead and actually try her out, or I mean before we do the main story, we are going to go ahead and try out the new Bianca, because I really don't know much about her. Like the playstyle, I just honestly just spammed buttons like crazy and just tried to see how it went in the CCP, and yeah. I did do pretty well against Lilith, even though usually I do crap in it. And I am curious about this Dreams Rewound thing. Is that supposed to be this is Veronica's thing, or is it going to be something else? Because I'll be honest, the fact we have 3 new constructs again, I was honestly quite shocked. I knew about a Discord and Bianca coming out in this patch, but I was I thought Veronica would have been the one after that. I didn't know she actually was for this patch. So yeah, before we do that, I'm gonna do the character trial real quick. So yeah, we'll go to the tutorial and then we'll actually do the real one. Because like I said, I played with her only a bit, but I only did that on my phone, so I don't know how it's gonna work. Like, especially her transformation, if I recall, because you have to tap where the sword thing is, but I don't know why I would have to press this one. In Twilight form, tap red or consecutively to cast Thorn Waves combo, Chain Lashes combo, and repeat Sinner combo. Alright. The Matrix cannot be triggered by successfully dodging attacks when Bianca Crepuscule is in Twilight form. However, pressing and holding dodge will make her activate Abyssal Domain. Oh, pressing and hold. Oh, I see. Matrix now. Oh, okay, so I can't just tap for it. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. So that's how that works. At max commandment, hold the blue orb to cast the Whip Blades. At mass severed C stack, tap and hold the blue again to cast the Round Sky. Oh, I see at the end of it. Oh, no, there we go. I see. There's a button there. So embrace and increase damage. Okay, that's how that chain move works. Oh, I see. So this is the button I press for this. Now I'm ready. Alright, so that's how that attack works. And now it's a completely different move. I see. That is cool. Oh, there we go. Damn, I honestly am kind of surprised that we're already like continuing the transformation thing here. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like it because again, the game's enhancing itself more and more, and it kind of means like you're gonna need to kind of switch between like what kind of enemy weaknesses like they might have. Because like I had the same thing when I had to fight that old spirit within the burial grounds in Issei Lacrimosa Dana. When you were on Dana's side, you had to fight the dragon, but she had many different attacks, so you had to be different forms of Dana in order to do specific damage in those forms. So that might be something they're trying to do with the bosses later on. I actually would like that, because again, it's like just only having good dodges and reaching the right crit stacks shouldn't only be enough, you know? So I'm glad to kind of see it elevate to the next level. Okay, so we get this. Seriously, this just feels like a repeat of what they've already taught me. I feel like all it's doing is just giving me more jargon. Alright, now effect practice. Okay, there we go. Ready form, tap this for Dawnbreaker combos. Gain commandment stores. As commandment, hold the blue. Yeah, I know that. At least I can also tell when's the end of the combo, instead of like having to tap it after you hold the first time. Timeline calculation. Okay. That's a new one. There we go. Oh, wrong button. my dodge. I keep confusing it with like how dodge buttons
昼
are
も
in
夜
every
も
game.
ずっとあなたと共に進みます
At this point, I'm gonna need like to make like a whole key for like buttons for every single game and what they do. Let's try to challenge these before we continue anymore. So let's go with the new Dark Team I have preset. And before you ask, no, I do not have the cup, unfortunately, because I actually decided to get the cup for. Oh right, I forgot to change this. For Selena, because I actually did need to improve what my Selena could do in regards to her damage when it came to physical opponents in the PPC. So.
すべての岐路が光へと通じています
And yes, I know the order of the team is wrong, I
私にお
think.
任せください
I think it's supposed to be Lilith's supposed to be in the red, but I don't remember who's supposed to be in the blue and yellow. But I'm just putting it like this for now. Because like I said, I'm just trying to do this quickly so that we can move on to main story.
魂は白き弱夜に燃えています容赦しませんどけ邪魔だ未練に振り切るチャンスをあげましょうどけ邪魔だ逃がしませんさあ未練に振り切るチャンスをあげましょうどけじゃ聞きなさい終末のアイコン容赦しません伏せ逃がしませんどけ未練なくいけるチャンスをあげましょう伏せ容赦しませんはっ未練なくいけるチャンスをあげましょうどけ邪魔だ聞きなさい終末のアイコン容赦しません逃がしませんはっ容赦しませんどけ邪魔だ未練なくいけるチャンスをあげましょう容赦しませんどけ邪魔だ容赦しませんえい逃がしません伏せ聞きなさい終末のアイコン朽ちた天候を切り裂きますどけ未練にくいけるチャンスをあげましょう逃がしません逃がしませんこの痛みはあなたの終焉のために容赦しません容赦しませんに長く夜この鉄にと無垢なる茨よ全ての罪を清めたまえ容赦しません昼も夜もずっとあなたと共に進みます
Alright, I just need to get used to like transforming as soon as possible instead of having to like remind myself to push a certain button for it. Alright, I think that should at least be enough for now. So let's actually go ahead and actually go with the main story. But again, I am kind of wondering when this would take place. Because again, it's like Chico should be gone, right? At least if I'm understanding that trailer correctly. Because it kind of looked like we're reliving what happened back then. Ah, Copperfield Aquarium again. Here we go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, how? Because even if we turn back time, we're already past this state. It's not like we can fix it again. We already fixed certain events. Because Bianca's chapter was already before this had happened. Or before some of the stuff that happened that oh man, I don't really remember how to fight with this frame yet, because when I did have it, I barely did. 終焉の光を与えましょう。審判を下します。悪夢の終わりを。
ここに宣告します。絶対に許しません。無さあ終焉の光を与えましょう。制裁を課します。悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します。抵抗無駄です。即戦即決しないと。懺悔遅すぎます。懺悔遅すぎます。ここは海洋博物館。しかし私はなぜここに。これは私。どうして私は海洋博物館に。
違う、ケラ、私だ。神聖はこんなはずじゃ。
Oh, right, yes, because it was that cult that was here. Right. Forgot about that part. Yeah, because then the cult had to work with us. Yeah, because we had to keep it like by the water side, otherwise they'd infest the whole earth. Hmm? Am I gonna have to fight Litos again?
さあ終焉の光を与えましょう。悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します。抵抗無駄です。罪絶対に許しません。さあ終焉の光を与えましょう。埋葬します。制裁を課します。審判を下します。悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します。懺悔遅すぎます。罪絶対に許しません。抵抗無駄です。懺悔遅すぎます。
ビアンカ魔女、来て食べに。
声はあの方向からですね。意識界、ここは。
She treks through a desolate wasteland. Where am I? Ruins stand jagged and tangled. Birds carry off bleached bones and mournful songs. Coding peels away bit by bit under the relentless wind and sand. Heavy tombstones stop to her back. She stares vacantly at the endless road stretching before her. Who am I? Her wandering gaze drifts to the crumbling walls beside her, her visage flickering in the shattered glass. As a lone snowflake slowly settles on her eyelash. Snow. I was born in the snowfields. Snowfields. I heard she killed the priest who raised her since childhood with her own hands, right there in the snowfields. No, it's not like that. It's as they say, people who come in contact with the witch will. I didn't. Get out of here. Out of our city. Demons like you aren't welcome here. Who am I? Stains of grime cling to her garments. A nun or a witch? How useless. You couldn't even finish off a corrupted. What a coward. I learned they called you witch. I was hoping you could be a merciless leader who never hesitates. How laughable. Who is talking? Who is watching me? What I believed in. Is it truly right? Who am I really? What role am I meant to take in this world? Gravity beneath her feet turns to mud, sinking down to the swamp's hungry whirlpool. There she sees it, self adrift in the red tide. Voice catches in her parched throat, and searching out in vain as the red tide's corruption seeps deeper, pulling her consciousness away from her body. She can't fall like this. She knows she can't. Darkness swells, devouring her vision. So maybe it's like remnants of the red tide still corrupting her, I guess. Because again, we haven't really fully understood what the stigmata frame would do to her, right? Because it did come into a lot of contact with the punishing, and even though Chico did help her a bit, it's like it didn't really resolve the whole thing. Bianca. Who is calling me? Without warning, her visual module shuts down, plunging into absolute blackness. The witch plunged into the deep sea. There goes Adrift. Chapter 35. Veronica's temporary base. Of course. Mister, this is not the awakening time we agreed on. I'm aware. I decided to wake you earlier than planned. We need to begin breeding the red tide ahead of schedule. But this will... There have been some unexpected complications. The facility beneath the Copperfield Aquarium can no longer wait. The man flips through his notebook and speaks calmly. I've lost contact with the tower. The tower? The proprietor descendant who's just awakened is clearly still in a drowsy state, unable to immediately grasp on its meaning. Do you mean that tower you mentioned before, mister? I haven't heard anything from that place in quite some time. Something might have happened, so we need to start the Copperfield Aquarium's plans ahead of time. Then, what about the aquarium's lower third level? Leave it be for now. Expression hidden behind his mask, the man quickly flips 2 pages, snaps his notebook shut, and fixes his gaze once more at the purple-eyed ascendant. Be quick. We don't have much time left. Understood, mister. Wait. I'm kind of confused. I need to actually check this, because I feel like I'm misunderstanding the sequence of events. Okay, let me see. So, yeah, dream to the endless time. Because we had finished the infinite loop, so we're back in the original timeline. But I forget, are the floating records, are these also occurring chronologically as well? Because after we did the whole thing with, what's it called? With Selena, the last floating record we did was the spark to wildfire. Because this had to do with her and, wait, what did it have to do again? I don't remember. Oh, wait, we have to... Wait, what the heck? Then what is... Wait, this is Veronica's thing? It's a floating record? Then what the heck is Chapter 36? I thought Chapter 36 was Veronica's thing, so it's not? Whoa, this just makes it even more confusing. Okay, no, because... Shit, I'm forgetting my order of events again. Okay, so... Rivera, what exactly happened? Okay, yeah, so... We had the thing with this guy. Bringing silence and everything. Because she was supposed to help us, because Grey Raven couldn't help. We were trying to get more info on Kura now. And that's when we learned of what happened with her in the time from the Golden Age, and when the punishing had started. Oh no, or maybe I'm getting confused because of the collab, because we talked about New Oakley, and I thought that's when it occurred, right? But no, it's like if the tower's gone. No, but he said he couldn't connect with the tower, right? So it's like the tower is still there, but the hyperreal frame shouldn't have been done yet, right? Oh wait, no, but I wasn't with Lee then, so okay, never mind. Maybe the hyperreal frame isn't ready yet. So yeah, I guess maybe I actually am back in time to this point. Wait, hold on. No, wait, no, actually that can't be the case, because if that was, we've already been through when 21 got her new frame already. Right? Was that talked about back then? Or I guess maybe the floating records don't matter as much to a certain point, because again, depending on when that took place before the thing with Ishmael, then all those would just be like, they take place somewhere down the line, but it's just it didn't happen at the moment yet. So maybe that's actually what it is, because I figured with the thing with Selena, considering we already talked about the things with Isla and Selena's relationship, it was already past the point of Renaissance du Fantastique, but maybe that actually isn't the case. So maybe it's actually from this point. So yeah. So I guess it actually does start back here all over again. Wow, okay. I didn't think we went that far. No, yeah, because we did talk about Surviving Lusum, I think. I think we referenced that at one point. And we already... No, yes, because we already talked about Atlantis, because Vera was already in her Garnet frame at the time, before she had gone to her Grivor frame. So yeah, I guess it actually is that we went back all the way here. No, right, yes, because the tower had descended, but again, it's just, it hasn't been active yet. So it would still be before Spiral of Chronos. So yeah, I guess we are back to chapter 20, but just a new side of chapter 20. That's interesting. Okay. But yeah, I was just kind of confused because, like, again, I'm trying to figure out, like, the sequence of, like, how the floating records would also be as well, because even though they're technically side stories, they do make references and stuff back and forth that they are actually interconnected, so that's why I was getting kind of confused. So, okay, we're back all the way there now, chapter 20. So everything that happened after, it's like, that doesn't matter anymore. Aquarium. Okay. So we actually do have to go back to Copperfield Aquarium. Ah, man. That place was a nightmare. Well, the cradle was actually much worse. But still, this is the second worst. And, I mean, to be fair, I did say that I wanted them to do a better job with Bianca than her Stigmata chapter. So I guess I really am getting what I asked for. I mean, hey, that's good for me. Like, trying to fix up a blemish that they had back then that wasn't as great of a chapter compared to a lot of the other ones. Express to the file marked classified. The terminal you and Lucy exchange a glance before signaling to Hassan that you finish reading. You'll find pretty much everything in there. Yeah, because this is still the same thing. Me and Lucia went down there to help Bianca. That's still the same. Alright. 3 rescue teams have vanished one after another at the Copperfield Aquarium. There's been no word from them since. Copperfield Aquarium. Copperfield Aquarium. The name lingers in your mind, unfamiliar yet hauntingly resonant, as an inexplicable sense of deja vu rises. Combined discussion in the conference room continues. Okay, so yeah, it is. Okay. So this actually is the same point in time again. But again, it's just been, everything after that has been erased. Because again, we fixed the timeline, because everything else was because of the influence of the tower, right? What happened with the Corrupted and Copperfield Aquarium and that stuff. That wasn't necessarily to the point like Vonica had planned everything. Like Lithos did have a hand in it, but that wasn't entirely on Lithos. Everything else was because the tower had been more haywire with the presence of a cradle and everything, and activating sooner than it should have. Right. Oh, so maybe that's what Dreams Rewound is actually going to be about. It's going to be when the Tower Cronus is there, but this time maybe the whole team will actually be active this time, not just only Lee. That would be awesome, actually. Because all the Grey Raven at full power and their new frames working together, that'd be elite. Search and rescue missions don't usually get rated as high risk. Is there something dangerous inside the aquarium that can't be officially disclosed in a file? Among the missing teams, 2 of them were on par with elite squads. I see. Does intelligence analysis suggest any Ascendant's involvement? I wish that was the full extent of it. We suspect that even the force behind the Ascendants might be. Santos? Sorry, my mind drifts off for a second. Right, because even the commander doesn't actually, like, believe that those memories he saw was that of the past future. Right. Because it's like, he still sees that as dreams, but nothing more. Because the same with Lucia. So it's like, he'd probably recollect, like, bits and pieces, but it's not like he could remember the whole incident. It is actually interesting, because now, yeah, it's going to be like, now that actually makes sense, because, yes, now we're seeing that Vonnegut actually is getting more deeper involved in it. Because unlike last time where it just went out of control, that he's just like, whatever happens, it's like, at least my experiment will still show some results. But here it's like, it hasn't reached that point where it's like, he can let them know about it yet. It's okay. It should be your off-duty time. This mission at Copperfield Aquarium can't really wait. Copperfield Aquarium. Crimson Swan, the red tide drifts once more across your sight. A hazy veil into which 2 silhouettes emerge like fragments spliced from old film reels, surfacing in slow motion before fading away. The Copperfield Aquarium. The one with all the bionic exhibits? Yeah. You heard much about it? No, wait, I'm trying to remember that. What was the last thing I remember from Selena's thing? No, right, yeah. Okay, no, I remember. Now I remember why I got confused with the whole Renaissance du Fantastique, and I thought that was that point. It's because I had confused it with, because Isla was in her Kaleido frame when we were on the search for Selena, or at least her second frame, not the Tempest one, but the other one. Velissimo, I think it was. No, that's probably not the right word. But y'all know what I mean. Her second frame, not the first one. I think that's why I got confused. But I guess by that point, it's like the Kaleido frame was a prototype then. It's like she didn't get full clearance, but because it was a special situation, she just decided to use that frame since only her and the commander were going alone. Unlike if I had gone with a whole elite squad. So maybe that's why I confused it back then. Okay. So never mind. Okay. All good. Had the Babylonia left Earth, that place should have been left abandoned. But given it was a prominent Copperfield family asset, our archives still likely still have visual records of it. I haven't really looked into it, but is Chico in one of the missing teams? Arabisa's question slips out unchecked. How did you know? Nicola? The mission briefing only mentioned rescue teams. We haven't said a thing about the purifying force so far. Yeah, okay, yeah, it is. It's like, he's starting to be like, will this information be helpful? So it's like, maybe he actually is trying to come to terms with it. It's like, maybe he can actually glean something. Where did you get this information? I saw some shadows. You saw it? I also saw some other information. Tell us about it. As Nicola exchanged a glance. Talk about the red tide, yeah, that's more important. I saw the red tide spreading to the sea. The Ascendant Lithos used the sewers to avoid satellite surveillance and led the red tide into the aquarium. Bianca switched to a frame called Stigmata and stepped inside the aquarium. After that, blurry images freeze on grotesque heterosapien oh right, the heterosapiens returned. No matter how hard you stare, the red tide's illusion obscures what lies beyond. Right, because everything else, it's like, that's already predetermined. That's like, that will happen. But probably what enemy we face now will be different, right? Because back then it was like Chico as a final boss, like some grotesque monster, but I don't know how she would look this time. Would it really be her? Or would we actually be facing Lithos or even something else? No, because actually, didn't I facelift us in that chapter too? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so that's probably the divergence point. That's the divergence point where whatever battle's going to take place there, that's not going to be the same as last time, but everything else before that will. You saw shadows. I can't accept vague explanations like that. Or maybe. Relax, Nicola. You and I both know the Great River Command is the last person to be doubted. Thank God for Hassan. Okay. Nicola gives a faint nod and settles back into his chair, seemingly trying to gather his thoughts. Maybe it's because of the time prison. After experiencing such hallucinations, you discuss the situation with Asimov. Simple deja vu fails to explain these intricate cause and effect visions. Dismissing them as mere fabricated memories doesn't account for their startling level of detail. Okay, good. So he actually did spend time off screen trying to look into it a bit more. Because we did try to look into it with at the Star of Life, but they didn't really think anything of it. So we actually went to Asimov personally to try to figure that out. No. It can't possibly be a mind beacon problem. I've checked your mind beacon every way I can. And more than once. There are no issues whatsoever. Given your experiences, I suspect the answer lies in the time prison. You mean, I haven't been through the same events as you, but from what you described, this time prison sounds like a distorted timeline. Oh, there we go. So we actually gave it a theory, a time prison. Remember when you used the white noise device to connect to with Selena inside the time prison? At that time, your mind beacon was fully exposed to abnormal time. Oh, I see. So that's why it's much stronger this time and why he can actually recall events. Yeah, because the thing with Lucia, it was literally only images, but he couldn't really take information from that. I see. The whole thing with like the recollection and space-time actually being distorted in that one area and the many different elements at play that would resonate with the Commandant, especially since we were doing it many times over, traveling between those spaces. Because we did that like 2 or 3 times to try to get to Selena and help her out. That might explain the deja vu you've been experiencing at certain times. Those visions could be fragments from such abnormal timelines. Oh, I see. So they can't conclude it's like one whole timeline from it, but it's like I'm probably receiving visions from other selves in different timelines, like the whole thing with Steins Gate. Okay, I see. Is that so? I'm not sure. Humanity's understanding of the universe is still incomplete. We're all seekers on this journey. Fair. This is just one possible answer I can derive from the current circumstances. Have your visions given you any more details? Like the Ascendant's movements, or even rough locations of Bianca and Chico? I tried, but I couldn't make out any clearer details. After exchanging another glance with Nicola, Hassan ponders for a moment. The mission goes ahead as planned. As for the specifics, we'll reevaluate once we factor the intel you've given us. Figure out we need to send in more people. See, that's at least a good thing, you know? It's like, the commander has at least gotten a good enough rep where it's like, he wouldn't lie in these situations like these. And even if they do seem a bit surreal, there is some basis to it. Because at least that information about knowing that Chico is missing kind of does at least hold some weight in that maybe what he's saying actually is true, because that fact is at least true. There's no other way I would have gotten that info. Especially since I only learned it in the mission just now. And keep this under wraps. Don't breathe a word of it to anyone else. Understood? Right, because it actually wouldn't be happening with Lucia, right? Because she didn't go on that mission with me. Damn it, if only Lucia went with me. Then maybe she would have remembered all the stuff with Vonnegut. I'm deploying a covert team to investigate the Purifying Force thoroughly. As for Kurino, we need to move immediately to assess any potential intel leaks. Bianca only switched to the new frame just before landing. The Stigmata was developed under Kurino's tightest security protocols. Oh, right, yes, I forgot that was a kernel frame. If there was a breach, we need to trace every possible vector and ensure it never happens again. But if it's not, time prison, visions? Asmo may provide a physical explanation for what Xantos has been seeing. Until we had the data verified, I remain skeptical. I mean, again, that's fair. Nicolette does hold a lot of influence, and again, he does have his position and Babylonia to think about. For that to happen at this particular moment, kind of a question whether there's more to it. Must be because maybe I'm resonating with Vonnegut. And again, it's like, this is a divergence point, right? So maybe that's also why I'm resonating with it and actually having these memories now. Because this is where reality can kind of change a bit. I understand your concerns, but our primary objective is still the same. We need to extract Bianca quickly and figure out exactly what happened at the aquarium. Right, because I told them that her frame changed. Because even though she got stigmata, stigmata becomes completely different after. But they don't know why. The Grey River Commander has extensive field experience. But these are just theories at this stage. And they become reality, or if it's a full-scale red tide influx or some ascendant engineering those heterosapien creatures, either scenario would be far more difficult to control. Oh, okay, yes, true, because when it came to that, we were running very low, and we kept getting back up like last minute, and that still wasn't enough. Like, seriously, it took Bianca with her stigmata frame just to give us the chance, otherwise we would have failed then. So, at least if we can make some countermeasures for either of those scenarios happening, that'd actually be really good. Nico falls into silence but accepts Hassan's judgment without protest. Which elite squads do we still have stationed in Babylonia? Dark Ares, but I still don't recommend deploying them for now. Cerberus is on a surface patrol mission, hasn't returned yet. There's also Strikehawk? Nah. Strikehawk probably has their own thing to do. Following Hassan and Nicola's reassessment, the mission's threat level has been updated, prompting adjustments to carrying provisions. Since you organize the combat supplies, you sift through the mission reports from the last 3 operations. Commandant. Lee? I'm applying to join you on the surface mission. You approve it first, then I'll go talk to Celica about it. Yes, please! Let Lee come with us. We need more backup. I remember we barely scraped by last time when we were trying to escape the red tide. But Hyperreal... I was going through your mission files and suddenly found out that your missions rating's been adjusted. Of course, always being very careful of the team. Sweetly. Don't worry. We'll come back safely. I've heard that promise too many times before. So rarely kept. Okay, you get 1 point for that. I should be going with you. Doesn't Hyperreal's adjustment require your input at all times? I'll be extra careful. I still think... Lee, are you there? Asimov is looking for you. Just remember, safety first. No exceptions. Keep your comms open at all times. No problem. Okay, so yeah, that definitely verifies it. We are back to that point. Because again, like I said, it's like, he wouldn't have had his Hyperreal frame yet. Again, I was just confused because of the Isla Kaleido frame. Niv can't join us this time either. Right, from the effects of Imperia. Yeah, because that was also kind of the other thing in the other timeline. Liv never used her Imperia frame ever again. Probably because it was still like in too delicate of a state, and even though it could have amazing impact on the corrupted, it didn't come without its price, so it would always be too risky to try to use that all the damn time. Especially considering it was made by Kurano, so who knows what limiters they forgot to put in or chose not to on purpose. This new frame is also in the research cycle. The Pier frame has always been a work in progress. Ever since Liv got back to Babylonia, the Science Council has been wanting to revamp it, which means Liv has to be available to help them out constantly. New frame. I guess that's good news at least. Yeah, these are all good things. Everything will be fine eventually. That's right. It's a notice from the transport aircraft. Some mission supplies just got delivered straight to the plane. Need to go check the inventory as soon as possible. Sure thing. It is actually very interesting to see how big of a difference it makes now. Like, even these preparation stages are changing so much. At this hour, most of Babylonian soldiers and staff are tied up to their posts. Even the corridor leading to the transport aircraft is pretty empty. As you're about to pocket your terminal and head for the landing pad, it chimes again. Message from Nicola with intel for the 3rd rescue team. This frame. Bianca? Bianca shows up at Kara wearing a dark frame that you both find strange and oddly familiar. Our primary objective is to confirm the survival status of the 1st and 2nd rescue teams and locate Chico, the vice captain of the purifying force who went missing at the aquarium. We've made it to the designated position. Below us is the Copperfield Aquarium. Shifts slightly, revealing a lead and gray ocean behind it that looks like a liquid graveyard, heavily on the Earth's surface. Your own heartbeat drums in your ears as the shadow takes shape on the ocean's edge. What? Oh no, fuck, that's right. I forgot. What was this? Chaos, right? Because this was supposed to be part of the Chaos Project. Of course. Yes, because Lamia's chapter hasn't happened yet. Right. Okay. That makes sense. So that's why. That's why this is a divergence point. Because this experiment ties into the creation of chaos. A pale girl commands the center of vision. A silent presence drawing your gaze upward beyond Sea's horizon. That's... Suddenly, the silhouette of female construct materializes right before you. Bianca. Commandant Santos. I'm not at the aquarium. Is the visual distortion from a mind deviation? Bianca. Tell me your exact coordinates. Nothing. Completely unresponsive. You can't hear a word you're saying. Careful. Tropical fish. Red tied to the aquarium. Oh, right, because Vonnegut's advanced it, right? I see. Ah, they put a fake message here. Damn, very clever. It's like that, Bianca's image flickers a few times and then she's gone. Is Chaos trying to show me something? Right, because Chaos would typically be, like, part of the commandant, right? No, wait, but they wouldn't have gotten my, my info and stuff yet, right? Because that would have happened when I was in the cradle. In order to create the egg that brings about chaos. So then how's that possible? No, I guess technically because it's like, whatever else forms chaos is still technically connected to the commandant, wherever through the time prison and whatnot. What just happened? Who are you? The red-eyed girl just stands there, silent, finger pointing to the distance. What's over there? Oh my god. No. Wait. This is something different, isn't it? I was about to say, like, this can't be the mother that was in the cradle, right? It's supposed to be something else. Oh, is this what Chico actually becomes now? Is it completely different, corrupted? Then you witness the red tide surge backward into the ocean as a huge humanoid shadow starts to slowly emerge from the water. She's chanting a dirge. The sound is crushing as a tsunami. A jolt of cold sweat runs down your back as Babylonia's harsh artificial sunlight snaps you out in that vision. That's the lost remains of the heterohumanoid twin. What? Oh my god, he's right. I didn't even notice it. The white hair, the gauntlets, the legs, and the halo. But how is that possible? I thought we completely destroyed the twins. Nah, they must have gotten like extra info on the twins, right? But where did they even get that? Oh my god. Great. Now we have to face the twins again, but they did a fusion, huh? Like in Dragon Ball Z? Come on! That's crazy. So anyone's guess how the Descendants managed to snatch the barely surviving twins, but with the samples in hand, breeding new monsters is simply a breeze for them. Oh no, that's right, because they probably had other hives, right? So the genetic makeup to construct the twins could probably still be used as long as they had the information as to how they were created. As long as they was able to retrieve that sample. Must have been Roland, right? Because Roland was there at the time. Just fragmented words still echo in your mind. Aquarium, the red tide, hetero creatures. If we can make sense of it, a sharp buzz from your terminal jolts you back to the present. There's no time left. Brain feels thick like a waterlogged sponge as you fight against this intense feeling of deja vu. Is this the medicine you need? That's right. Thank you. Consciousness creeps back into your body. The muffled voice of nearby people drift into your awareness. Lucia? Commandant, you're awake. When your consciousness finally returns, you find yourself lying inside a transport craft. Lucia. Oh, hey! It's you! Damn, I didn't think he'd be here on a mission with me. A familiar blonde-haired young man stands nearby. We were just watching the mission footage. At first we were talking about Bianca's frame, but then you just took off. You walked forward without saying a word. Like you weren't even there. Oh, right, yeah, because, again, Lucia wouldn't have seen it. So, again, I can see something encrypted from the video, probably. Because of chaos. I tried to get you to stop, but it was tough. Maria just hopped off the transport and said hello, but just plowed right into him. Should I get the Star of Life and the horn for you? Not right now. Thanks, though. But wow. Damn, they weren't kidding. Ishmael wasn't kidding when she said that this timeline could potentially be worse going on. Because now I'm facing two of the most dangerous events that have happened in the old timeline. The twins and Copperfield Aquarium? That is just a formula for disaster. Like, seriously. Finding the twins, it took literally everything the Earth had to work together against them. At Copperfield Aquarium, it took almost all of Babylonia's assets just to hold that thing back to a stalemate. And now we have to deal with both? In your hazy mind, the visions you just had remain sharp and vivid. I gotta tell Hassan and Nicola about this. The terminal comms of Babylonia can be bugged. Inside the military's encrypted channels, classified intelligence is typically relayed the old-fashioned way, on paper. A slightly urgent voice cuts into your thoughts. Departure's almost to go. Sure you got all your personal gear and all non-essential personnel need to bail out now. I'm really sorry, but would it be possible to hold off on our departure? No go. The surface been too rough, especially in your drop zone. The punishing concentration is off the charts. With these shifting winds, it's a real gamble for our flight. After I drop you, I still have to swing back and pick up another team headed for the disaster zone for rescue ops. I hear you. Your mind races through various possibilities. You catch sight of Murray getting ready to disembark. Just give me 10 minutes, please. 10 minutes before we take off. Thanks. Murray! Grey River Commandant, do you need something? I still think you should get checked out at the Star of Life. What's this? Oh, right, because he's Lee's brother. We can trust him to get it to Hassan and or Nicola. This is crucial. Please get this chip to either Celica or Nicola. I'm not entirely sure this young man can be trusted, but given Lee's connection to him, along with those fragments Nicola once mentioned, he seems like the only option left. Oh, right. Yes, I forgot. Because the Spiral Chronos thing hasn't happened yet. Right. So, I guess, yeah, it is kind of risky, because he still probably would have his connections to Lamia. Possibly. Considering he did have to tell her about Atlantis. No, actually, wait, he already did that by that point, didn't he? But it's like, him and Lee haven't had the real heart-to-heart yet. Fuck. This is a far safer bet than the transport robot trying to transmit it to the terminal. Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're just desperate. Because again, history is going to become a lot worse now that we can't predict what else can happen. The smoke's hanging in the artificial sunlight. A cloud just passed and the blinding pinpricks of light pierce your vision. Everything around you feels surreal. Ray stands before you, his image shimmering under the intense glare. Alright, but I'll hit you up on the terminal later. Deafening roar, the transport slowly pulls away from Babylonia. Yeah, because it's true, it's like, considering how many times information's been leaked, and how many times I've been captured by Kurano, we really can't just transmit that information. Even though it's like, it's immediate, but you can't say it's like, how many of those people are still on Vonnegut's side by this point? Because we did know that Kurano has been teaming up with Vonnegut, or at least a part of it. Good morning, Bianca. Did you do the prep work for today? I heard it we're covering. Hey, don't you jinx it. And then, he just died. Had his head eaten, just like that. Bianca. She hears a familiar voice calling to her. Commandant Santos. I'm not at the aquarium. Her hazy vision, sky and sea merge into one, dark and heavy like a hush before a storm. Is this visual distortion from a mind deviation? Commandant's figure flickers at the edge of her visual module, a smudged silhouette standing on the landing pad that wasn't there a moment ago. Human's mouth moves, words lost beneath silence. Bianca hears nothing at all. Oh, I see. So, that moment happened when I finished that first battle segment, when she saw the commandant for a second. I see. Whether now it's a hallucination in her mind. Careful. Tropical fish. Red tide at the aquarium. Watch out for the ascendant. Captain. Who's this now? The bitter tang of vital fluid lingers stubbornly in her mouth. Easily, consciousness seeps back into her leaden lips. Sylph. Barely recognizing the team member before her, Bianca coughs up the thick fluid, clogging her throat, finally setting the pain lashing out in her mind. Is that just a mind hallucination? Yet Santos' voice had felt real. It was too real to dismiss. Right, because the tropical fish had like collided onto probably collided onto the glass, right? There's no time to dwell. The moment the searing pain in her mind goes to a throb, she immediately asks about the current situation. Did we fall back to the first floor? No. Then things aren't looking good, Captain. Someone's controlling the red tide in the aquarium, and they know this building inside out. We're probably on the aquarium's lower second level. Fall back to the first level is almost impossible with the red tide cutting us off. Got no choice but to keep moving deeper. What about comms? Any contact from Babylonia? Barely. Their punishing concentration here is off the charts. We're only getting intermittent signals at best. Back lowers her hand, pulling up a frame status feed. A flash of red floods her vision. Sees as high-intensity combat is taking its toll. Despite her efforts to shield the refugees and the purifying force members, the Red Tide's corruption has seeped in. Mind wavers, its coherence fraying at the edges. Now is hardly the time to wait for her mind to stabilize. Give me some bandages. After hastily bandaging the worst of the bleeding wounds, Bianca takes a moment to survey her surroundings. She's in what appears to be an underground viewing hall of the aquarium. The exits on either side are sealed tight. The thin tendrils of the red tide still slithering through the cracks relentless. Refugees huddled together, clutching old trinkets as they whispered desperate prayers. Nearby, members of the Purifying Force stand watch. Some guarding the place, others patching up their comrades with hurried hands. Bianca lifts her terminal, hesitates for a breath, then taps her phone. This is Bianca, Captain of the Purifying Force, leading the 3rd Rescue Team into the aquarium. Commencing 4th mission log. I'll be leaving the chip containing this recording at this location, marked clearly so that any follow-up personnel can find and use it for reference. During our sweep of the aquarium's 2 ground levels, we found no signs of the 1st or 2nd rescue teams. However, we later discovered that an Ascendant has been stockpiling a massive amount of red tide in the aquarium's lowest level main tank, funneling it through underground waterways, even frequently using it to attack us. Overly high punishing concentration. It's the red tide. The air was cold and gloomy, thick with the damp, earthy scent of decay. Bianca's team had barely stepped to the aquarium's lower 1st level. As soon as they entered, the attack came. Viscous dark liquid seeped across the floor, swirling it with the unnatural currents of the red tide. Within its depths, the deformed hetero creatures lurched forward, attacking the rescue team with relentless fury. Deploy reconnaissance drones to detect the specific location of the red tide leakage. If it were you, maybe the experiment would see different results. The red tide, a purple-haired figure flashes by. Who's there? Show yourself. Just a little experiment, that's all. Play along and it won't hurt much. Watch out for the sewer exits around. Fall back. I'll cover the rear. After multiple engagements of this nature, we were herded by an Ascendant into this position, approximately mid-sector at the lower 2nd level. Fortunately, we found the rescue targets of both the 1st and 2nd teams. Believers of Scarlet Revelation, along with their leader, Grace. Sharp cry shatters the recording's audio. Bianca hurls a terminal at a nearby Purifying Force member in the same motion, whips her sword staff free. Her attack convulses, the surface bubbling with grotesque shifting forms. Seeming mass garbled whispers about "Don't jinx it. It tastes right, you know." Sylph rushes up from the side and severs the last red tide tendril. Thanks, Sylph. It's fine. Now do we go forward or back? Back. We have to find a way to evacuate. Scar Revelation followers aren't equipped for a fight. Pushing forward would just get more people killed. But we still haven't found the first 2 rescue teams and Vice Captain Chico. Let's get the followers back to the surface first and regroup with the support team waiting above. This mission, we will get it done. I'm kind of worried now, because again, it's like, who exactly is this Sylph? She wasn't there in the first timeline, right? Unless she was just a nameless one. Because otherwise, at least we would have had more help with Bianca, but I'm kind of curious what her existence is in all of this. She maybe had never ascended in hiding? Pulling at her hood, Sylph says nothing more. As the two finish their conversation, Grace, who has been waiting off to the side, fidgets with the hem of her garment, temporarily rustling the fabric to announce her presence. Captain Bianca. The dark green-haired woman tightens her grip on her oddly decorated staff, hesitating as if searching for the right words. Thank you for risking yourselves to come and help. And thank you for opening the control room door just in time. Oh, right, yes, because she was the one who opens the door. Right. Grace's head jerks up, her gaze briefly locking with Bianca's before she takes a half step back. Fingers nervously trace her staff as if the motion might offer and escape from the weight of the moment. I'm sorry. It's true that members of the Scarlet Revelation opened the control room door, but earlier they were the ones who deliberately closed in the first place. When Grace was in the lower second level control room, she spotted the new coming rescue team through the surveillance cameras. Seizing the opportunity, she herded the followers into this hall and sealed the door from the control panel. The rescue team would inevitably come this way. When they did, she could play the helpful ally, opening the door for them, granting them entry, a small favor, calculated gesture. Deep inside, suspicion and fear with an irresistible pull toward dependence on this very power. How long have you been inside here? Bianca appears to overlook the layered meaning behind Grace's sorry and presses on. Says that Bianca might not intend to dwell on the issue, Grace responds in a hushed tone. At least 10 days. I came in here this morning. After stepping into this place, my time device conked out. So I started carving a vertical notch on a stick every time my stomach started growling uncontrollably. It might not be accurate, but sometimes I blacked out from starvation, but I'd say it's been about 10 days. 10 days. Chico, have you met the first and second rescue teams that Babylonia sent in? We never ran into this first rescue team, but the second one, Chico. Are you talking about that construct with the blue hair? Yes, that's her. Do you have any clues about where she is? I'm sorry. She was staying between the Ascendant and us with her team. All we could do was run. After that, we hid in the control room here on the lower second level. But this place is swarming with those monsters. And by that point, our food was already running out. Don't worry. You'll make it back to the surface safely. I'm sorry. I wish I had more to offer, but all I can say is I'm sorry. I was anxiously fearing Bianca might abandon them to leave with her more combat-capable teammates. Is there any work I can help with? Anything at all? Like, we can scout ahead, or whatever you need. I appreciate the offer, but that won't be necessary. Right now, we don't need anyone risking themselves to clear the way. We'll make sure everyone gets back into the surface alive, one way or the other. Bianca pulls up the map data on her terminal, her eyes narrowing as she scans for any viable route. One that has a collapse or been swallowed by the creeping red tide. Meanwhile, inside the monitoring room, the agent in black fixes his gaze on the figures flickering across the screens. Oh wow, Vonnegut's actually personally here? Wow, okay, so yeah, this timeline really has changed. Vonnegut is probably going to be like the main bad guy now, because again, it was like the whole thing was supposed to be like with Cradle and Agent Zero. This time it probably is going to be him, because it was just Lithos here before. The crowd's getting bigger, mister. Should I release some red tide to break them up? A bit of commotion wouldn't hurt. His tone betrays a flicker of dissonance. Mister, your consciousness. Don't worry about it. Struggling to pluck coherent thoughts from the noise, Falker puts his index finger against his mask, lost in contemplation. How is Chico's fusion going? More successful than originally expected. She might be more suitable for hetero-humanoid fusion than Grace. A faint knack of confusion unsettles him. Yet no matter how meticulously he combs through the information, he finds no clear flaw. Still he feels it, something slipping beyond his grasp. It began at some indefinable moment, elusive as a shadow. The tower is cutting off contact with him. Ah, okay, so he is also experiencing it on his own. Right, and I guess it makes more sense that he would feel it more like his disconnect from the tower, considering how his existence is tied with the tower. To weigh this outcome, he scours every note, every record. Not a single sign suggests the tower would disconnect. It'll probably be bad if him and the commander come face to face again. He might actually learn something. That, and I guess we're also glad that he wasn't in he didn't have anything to do with the events of the time prison. Only after relentless searching does he uncover fragmented hits. The shift, the anomaly, must lie right here, in Copperfield Aquarium. But what exactly has changed? Creeping loss of control gnaws at him like insects on an elephant's hide, trivial in scale, yet relentless in distraction. Will derail his plans, but it fractures his focus. Right, because that's the thing, it's like, I can't really tell what exactly has changed this part of history. Again, the only thing I can think of is how much impact the tower has had on the world. That, and like I said, Kratos / Agent Zero's existence. Like, already advancing the red tide more than it should have. Why? Did the cradle of Deep Blue fail? Something unexpected happened within the tower? Or is it? Okay, yeah, so yeah, the cradle of the Deep hasn't started yet. It's the first accident beyond his reach. First time he's faced the dawning realization that beyond his vision something lingered. Yeah, see, finally, the first time Vonnegut doesn't have full control of the whole situation. Vast enough to eclipse the cosmos, body his perception. As small as a mere insect existing at twilight. Its fragile flight swayed by a single breath. Actually, now that I think about it, does that mean that depending on how the situation escalates further, whenever we reach the point when it should have been Lamia's chapter, that I won't become a part of chaos? Or will that still be like one of those it's inevitable things, but there will be a different divergence point later after that? He acutely senses the doubt brought by the unknown. Meanwhile, Letos continues obediently reporting the experiment's progress. Mister, the fusion between Chico and the hetero-humanoid remains is going well. If we could integrate a stronger consciousness into this red tide, we might be able to breed an even more perfect creature. For example, that captain of the purifying force. A more perfect creature means more possibilities, right, mister? No, but actually, that's also the different thing, right? Because if, and this is from my very scarce recollection, I don't think we talked about the humanoid that they were, but we didn't talk about like the hetero creature they were fusing Chico with being like remnants of the twins, right? Because I don't remember her being like that at all. So that has to actually be the point that changed. But again, it's like Liv would have still beat the twins, but exactly what's the difference in how they use the twins' bodies after? That might actually be what really changed, or what changed this specific point in history. But again, like I said, it's probably because Vonnegut had to get involved this time. So it's like, he probably planned to use it for a later scenario, but because the time asked for it now, he kind of had to. Even though there were probably, like, risks of him failing. Right. So the dissonance lingers, but the agent has already devised a way to cope with this creeping sense of losing control. As long as the tower descends, everything can proceed as planned. Okay, so yeah, I'm still right about that part, because I was kind of questioning that in the Selena chapter, like, will the hetero tower still arrive or not? It's just that, yeah, it will, it just doesn't happen sooner rather than it was supposed to, because from the other timeline, the distorted one, it had arrived earlier than it should have, but it was still always determined that it was going to arrive, because that was also calculated by Luna. However, this is different now. But now the question is, around what chapter is the tower actually going to descend? If it fails to appear at the scheduled time, he'll force it down. There's more than one way to make that happen. Go ahead. Herd the lambs to your sight. There's still time for experiments. Gives Letos' proposal a silent approval. After all, Copperfield Aquarium remains theirs to command, and time is still on their side. Damn, this is getting interesting. See, what I tell you, this already makes Bianca's chapter way more interesting than they did with her regular Stigmata chapter. Are we still gonna have that weird tracer thing again? I hope not. That thing was a bit stupid. But we'll see. Transport craft's engine roars definitely in the air. I got the basics down. Yes! Thank God! We have Strikehawk with us! Let's go! Okay, yeah. We should be better armed this time. If we got Strikehawk on the case, we should be good. Like, seriously, we got Chrome on the mission? Yo. That is definitely a good sign. As he reads through the mission intelligence he provided, the blonde consort pulls up a map on his terminal and marks the location of Copperfield Aquarium. Given the situation, pushing forward from here might be our best move. If your vision is real. Speaking of the devil, Commandant, what's up with that hallucination thing? You all good? Need me to... I'm really fine. Kamui jerks up right in his seat, only to be immediately shoved back down by Kamu's firm hand. Oh, sweet. And we have Kamu? Actually, yes, we do need him. He would be perfect. Because he did help us in that one mission where it's a... like, He was the only one who could get through a punishing infested area. So this place with the red tide, he would be a good specialist to have on this. Seriously, we are going guns blazing with this chapter. I'm just worried about Commandant. This commotion doesn't seem to disturb the white-haired construct. Won't she? Nice, and we got a healer as well. Good. Finally taking this shit seriously. Though deep in sleep, his mere presence radiates a quiet reassurance that wraps around you like a warm blanket, easing the tension in the air. Now that I think about it, this mission actually has 2 elite squads deployed. Since President Hassan and Nikola have already verified the information you saw and reassessed the aquarium's threat level. Not 2 squads, 3. Ooh, who's the 3rd one? We received an emergency notice mid-mission, ordering us to wait a rendezvous with you. Also, during the briefing, Commander Nikola mentioned that Cerberus would move straight from their patrol mission to meet us at the aquarium. Yes! We got Cerberus in on this as well. Good. Well, then again, yeah, with the whole thing about the red tide thing, I guess we would at least need 1 extra elite squad, but I see. Because of that extra note, now we also need Cerberus. And probably because Lee's brother also gave it that info, Cerberus would be the best one to move in action, since he would also have that information. They happen to be stationed at a conservation area nearby, so it's only a short boat ride over. Right, I think I do remember they did say that when they came to help us. It's all very serious. The commander needs more solid proof that the Ascendants are actually breeding the red tide at the aquarium to breed some creature worse than the heterohumanoids. Otherwise, Parliament will hardly approve deploying the last batch of Omega weapons recovered from the moon. Most counselors still see the moon's zero-point energy as the most important asset. Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, we did need the Omega weapons, because that's how we created that barrier to keep away all those heterosapiens. Right. Yeah, I mean, I can see why they doubt it, because again, it's like, on my visions, quote-unquote, but more like memories resonated from the time prison. Not surprising at all. Your vision alone can't serve as evidence. Even if it directly supports the information's credibility, you still need something more convincing to sound the alarm. Cockpit here. We're approaching the target location. No viable landing zones in the area. Prepare for drop. Sea conditions update. Pressure altitude 3225 meters. Wind at 23 meters per second. Temp negative 12 degrees. Heads up. Offshore currents detected northeast. Repeat, prepare for drop. Commandant, we're almost there. There aren't any viable landing zones for the transport nearby. We need to make the jump from here to reach the target location. The plume frame is equipped with a short-range glide device. I'll get you safely to the aquarium's perimeter. Thank you. It's the least I can do, Commandant. Wait, you're really gonna jump in your condition? What if when we land... Nah, not gonna jinx it. I'm the strongest, come on. After checking the protective suit and securing the safety ropes, he watches the transport craft's jump door slowly opens. Hydraulic system hisses. Its sluggish metallic grind protesting under the strain. Slowly wind surges inward, tingling the leaden sky. And with it, the humming returns. The familiar dissonant resonance coils around you. Yeah, and that's the other thing, is like chaos must be resonating with me. Because again, maybe like Chaos's original genetic makeup comes from here, right? And then is taken to the cradle to like adapt and start to evolve to the point where it gets to an egg, and then later Chaos will hatch. The fishes in the heavy clouds, crimson light bleeds into view. At the periphery of your vision, the pale girl appears in silence. She quietly stretches out her hand, gesturing at a direction. What? Hoping to speak in the endless nightmare, you press your tongue hard against your teeth. Sharp pain is the only anchor keeping you conscious, long enough to choke out a question. The girl's response is the same, a silent gesture toward the distance. What is going on? This time, however, the pale girl hesitates. Her lips remain sealed, yet a soundless voice echoes in your mind. Chaos. The word reverberates, and the inexplicably familiar yet devoid of memory. Chaos. Seeing that you fail to grasp the meaning, the girl's arm jerks up again, insistent, forcing your gaze forward. Where towering crimson waves devour the horizon, and there, amidst the churning abyss, a colossal humanoid silhouette stands upon the sea. Come on. Whoa! It's the Bianca Stigmata frame! Squirting, desperate to discern its face, that a tide crashes over you. Vision clears what stands upon the sea has become Bianca? Solitary figures slide against the vastness. Stands upon the sea. Commandant. Force seems lost to the roar of the tempest, rising from the far edge of the world. Ascendant, under the sea. Careful. Hetero creatures. Red tide. Into the sea. The wandering red tide blooms beneath her feet as the female construct stands poised, expressing a fusion of sorrow and steel. Farewell. Vision blurs once more, dissolving into a haze of static. Wait! Female construct silhouette fades again, swallowed by the sea. Descending under the sea. Open your mouth to press the pale girl named Chaos for answers, but before the words can form, Vision whirls. Towering waves surge forward, crashing up around you. Commandant? Commandant? Commandant, are you alright? The wind howls into your mouth, sharp and unrelenting, as weightlessness twists your stomach. The world lurches, spinning wildly. I think you passed out just now. I'm fine. Below, the ground surges upward, blurred motion until a Bloom Shore Ridge glide device activates. When your feet touch the ground, you collapse in a graceless heap. You're bleeding. Need to disinfect it. Reaches for you with unmistakable concern, fingers pressing gently against your nose. Only then do you realize that your nose is slick with a coppery tang of blood. Oh, right, yeah, because it's a lot of information that's being processed into my mind probably from the AskNet, from Chaos. That happened before. Don't worry about it. You see, it takes disinfectant from the medical kit and gives you basic treatment. So I got good landing nearby, also regroups in you. Probably just capillary rupture from the impact. Doesn't look too serious. Let's hold here and regroup for now. Kamui? Scout the area and check the punishing concentration levels. Report anything unusual immediately. Got it. They head off in different directions. At a brief rest, the dizziness from the vision gradually fades. Yet the haunting image lingers. Bianca in a dark frame standing upon the sea, her silhouette seared into your mind like a brand. The sea area we just dropped into. What's in that direction? Your direction, Lucia opens a terminal and circles the patch of sea. According to the satellite map, below the sea area where we just dropped is the Copperfield Aquarium. The aquarium. To your previous vision, the rescue plan for the aquarium has always focused solely on the interior of the facility. Oh yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, we always only focus on the inside because that's where most of our mission took part. We didn't look at anything from the outside of it. But since the Ascendants chose a seaside aquarium as their den, their objective can't possibly be just easy red tide storage. What you really need to guard against isn't just the inside of the aquarium. It's the facility's large drainage outlets as well. Where's Cerberus right now? This is Cerberus. What do you want? Farah? Good. You still remember my voice. Something's up at the aquarium. I need your approximate location. We're about 20 minutes out by sea from the aquarium zone. Assuming Noctis doesn't screw up piloting the boat. I need you to sweep the sea surface and locate the aquarium's main drainage outlets in advance. The aquarium's drainage outlets? So what you're saying is, you want us to take our pathetic handful of Omega weapons and set up defenses of the aquarium's drainage outlets in advance. Kamui will bring supplies and rendezvous with you. Glad to know you decided to start thinking. Thanks, Vera. Fine. We'll take your brilliant intel and sweep the sea from the aquarium's drainage outlets. Then guard them ahead of time. Let's hope your speculation is not wasting our time, Grey Raven commanded. And of course she has to laugh in my face before hanging up. But that's classic Vera. Can't hate her for it. But solely where Copperfield's funding the aquarium was a marvel of advanced bionics, particularly replicating marine ecosystems and behaviors. During the Golden Age, it had been world-renowned, a testament to human ingenuity. Now, time has reduced its glory to dust and cobwebs. The entrance bears the scars of battle, exposed reborn claws at the air, resting between concrete like skeletal fingers, while small patches of red ties see between the wreckage. Hi, Vice. Wait, where's Ruby blinking? Wait, what are you talking about? Yeah, what's up, Boston? Good to see you. Oh, wait. Do you mean like that's probably supposed to be like another way of referencing like Lucia, Liv, and Lee, right? Wait, right? I could be wrong though. On either side, massive ecosystem tanks lining the corridor. The glass wall is still intact. Now Ruby Rooster Teeth. Wait, what do you think I'm playing? I'm so confused. Because I know the Ruby anime has it's like, aren't they on like hiatus for a long time until they figure out stuff? Because like, what was it? Rooster Teeth is like done for or something? I don't remember. It's been a long while since I caught up with Ruby. Aside from the battle damage, the rest of the facility is nearly operational. I was took with steam for a place that should have been abandoned years ago. The punishing virus first ravaged the world. The aquarium really is the Ascendant's den. Just how long has this been part of their plan? Behind the glass, a glint of light flickers in the pupils of a bionic tropical fish as it watches in silence. Then from beyond the water displays, footsteps echo. A group emerges from the shadows of the main hall. Busting, yeah, but I was making a joke on your name being Vice. Oh, right, yes. How can I forget the Schnee family? My bad. Okay, my bad. I'm just not used to people referencing my name as much, so I was just kind of confused there. I was asking where the other members of Team Ruby were. Nah, but okay, that's cool. My bad. Sorry for ruining the joke. Sorry about that. There was a noise going on in the other room, so didn't want to let it bother what I'm doing. The battlefield scars modeled the ground as viscous red tide oozed from the drainage outlets like clotting blood. The smell of vital fluid. There was a fight here. The trail leads that way. Drainage outlets. Someone was controlling the red tide. We can search for the drainage outlets. They forced the previous rescue team into that direction. But why? Visual modules absorbed every detail, until a purifying force honed intuition locked onto movement behind a liquid barrier. Tropical fish. Even bionic. Could they have survived this long? Tropical fish. Slowly approached. The water's reflection blurs as the bionic fish twists its body, a flicker of crimson glowing in its mechanical eyes. It's looking this way. Looking at you. Instinct takes over. Fired the fish into rippling reflection. Target shatters on impact, scattering jagged metal fragments across the ground. Over here, Commandant. Copy. Something's weird about that bionic fish. It might have been corrupted by the red tide. The aquarium has 5 floors in total. The lowest level contains a large storage tank for bionic marine performances. The level above that holds ecological seawater tanks. We're currently on the lower first level. All liquids here may have been corrupted by the red tide. Commandant, must be careful. Carefree movements contrast sharply with the battle-scarred surroundings. Telltale signs of some violent struggle that might have raged here. Faintly, some subtle scraping sounds echo from nearby. Commandant, the information we gathered has been synchronized back to Babylonia. For the next step, we... Listen. Where you point, just beyond the lower level 2 sign, the passage behind the water curtain now stands open, unnoticed by anyone. Some sound is coming from right behind there. Give me a second. Yeah, sorry about that. There was just noise going on in the next room. And like I said, didn't want to block out a lot of what I was saying. Meyer. And that concludes the data report transmitted back by Chrome. Screen freeze on a pool of thick crimson liquid, surface twisting. Original form not barely recognizable. Right, because then this kind of confirms that someone else is actually controlling the red tide, because that's what the twins were capable of back then. Fragmented metallic limbs of fallen structures protrude from the moors, clotted with malformed chunks of flesh. faces. Amid the undulating mass, several disturbingly serene faces rise to the surface. Murmuring indistinct whispers, the voice weaving a haunting, almost cheerful melody beyond comprehension. At the end of the report, the Grey Reaver Commander left a message, saying that they were about to head to the lower second level of the aquarium. The punishing virus concentration is higher there, so they were concerned about potential delays in transmitting future reports. As a precaution, they relayed this information ahead of time. The Science Council's takeaway is that the Red Tide is mutating. From corrupted to the Red Tide. The Red Tide to those. If those... She deliberates for a long moment, unable to find more suitable words to describe that grotesque mass of flesh. Those hetero creatures in the Red Tide. If they were not illusions created by ascendants, then what the Grey Reaver Commander saw in the vision that Lithos is accelerating the evolution of hetero creatures to the Red Tide would be an established fact. Oh, okay, good. I did say that it was actually Lithos. Good. I didn't know if Commander had said that. Projector screen displays a series of images, clearly illustrating this fact. We gotta put a stop to this. Those are mega weapons. No, that's not going to cut it. These are just predictions. It won't be enough to get Parliament to sign off on using the Omega weapons we salvaged from the moon. Right now, the moon is the only place where we can even make Omega weapons. For a lot of people, these weapons mean their best hope of taking back Earth. And frankly, hear their arguments now. Producing Omega weapons requires zero-point energy. Right now, the only place in our controlled territories with zero-point reactors is the lunar base. Yeah, true. There was a... Yo, Miss Lobster! Guten Tag, wie geht's? Doing alright, just doing a punching Grey Reaver's thing with the new update. We can't throw away our long-term future for a quick win. That mere fact that the Purifying Force Captain and Vice Captain are lost to the Aquarium won't be enough to sway those counselors. But the Red Tide influx alone will make them abandon their hopes for the zero-point reactors. Unless a greater threat emerges. Something that puts the surface itself at risk. Threatens Babylonian puts their interests on the line. Right, because they had to do it when it came to the twins and the Imperia frame. If we showed them it's just that equal of a level, we might be able to do something about it. Celica, mark the Red Tide's influx entry point. Based on its spread rate, pinpoint all the nearby conservation areas that will be impacted. Good, start evacuating them first. President, once the Red Tide spreads, it'll impact the total of 13 conservation areas. Multiple plantations in the surrounding areas. Here's all of them. Yeah, because that's why we had to keep the battle at sea, right? Because at the rate it was spreading, it would have definitely reached those quickly. Just like you to do that. Well, everyone's got something to care about. Speaking of which, how's the lunar base inspection shaping up? 15.21% done. Hauling the engineering gear takes ages. It'll at least be another 4 or 5 days till they're wrapped up. The mirror goes absolutely quiet. Faint sound comes from outside the door. As on. Miss Lobster, nice. Well, I just wanted to say hi. Haven't been here for some time. Nice, cool, it's cool. I'm just glad you show up, Miss Lobster. How's everything going with you? President Hassan, Commander Nicola, we processed the data report you just sent over. The analytical and simulation results are ready. And the conclusion? Our findings confirm that the Ascendants are mass breeding the Red Tide under the Aquarium. The punishing virus in the Red Tide is already showing signs of mutation. Advise immediate intervention. Otherwise, the Red Tide influx will trigger widespread hetero creature spawning, placing all coastal surface strongholds at risk of total collapse. So if the Omega weapons are a no-go, is there any chance we could use the Longinus arsenal? I'm afraid not. Yeah, because it's in the water. The Longinus arsenal can only hit the Red Tide on the surface. The Red Tide in the Aquarium is 3 floors down underground. Right, because that's initially what we wanted to do before then too. But again, we learned that because it was in the water, we couldn't do anything about it. Because that was also kind of the situation with Atlantis, right? Because they wanted to hit it, but as long as it was underwater, they couldn't do anything about it if it was going to risk everything. It's almost 4 a.m. and we're definitely going fine. Ah, okay. Yeah, how are you doing with Honkai Star Rail, Miss Lobster? I don't remember, but I think you said you were still on Penacony at the time? I don't remember. By the time it even gets close to the underground Red Tide, the Longinus arsenal would lose 60% of its punch. making any direct impact impossible. Right, and if it's anything as strong as the twins, that's a lot of firepower you lose to eliminate the threat. The conversation as Asimov's terminal chimes abruptly. Nico gives him a look, and Asimov, clearly annoyed, answers a call. A pale woman's face pops up on the screen. Where's Stigmata? Oh, right, yeah, she's back. None of your business, Vesalius. None of my business. Asimov, that frame was Kurito's sole project. A solo project. Just owed the Babylonians a courtesy. I got every right to know where she is. She's on a classified mission. Details are under wraps. Spare me the bureaucratic evasion, Commander Nicola. Kurito handed over the Stigmata frame to the military for free. As its creator, I'm entitled to answers. Stigmata's last transmitted mind data was a mess, full of interference. The frame might already be rife with the punishing virus. She was never the primary compatible user to begin with. Keep this up, and without a commander to stabilize her mind, that frame's gonna be scrap at the bottom of the sea. Wait, she was never compatible with this? Really? Then who was? I guess that's why, even with how the Stigmata frame initially was, that's why Bianca couldn't really do much with it. What about the Phantom Tracer? Oh, come on, not the Phantom Tracer again. Look, I'm still on Rappa's quest. Still haven't played Inforius, or whatever it's called. But yeah, I have to play it sometime. I still have to do the event too. I don't know if it's even still there. Might be 3 more days. Already be over. Don't remember. Ah, okay. Well, just letting you know, I don't know if you've seen the trailers and stuff, but in Inforius, we're finally seeing March and Don Hung back in the story. So that's something. But, but you're on Rappa's quest? I remember. That catastrophe of a storyline that they tried to do. I swear, honestly, I feel like they should have just used a regular Penacony map and just try to get Rappa involved. That whole like university thing is like, I just didn't like it. Like, for me, there was like nothing good about it. I kind of really wish that they just only made her an exclusive character, or even just gave her like a side quest like they did for other characters, like what's it called, like Jinyu Wan and stuff. And then I probably would have been more satisfied with that, at least. Equipping the Phantom Tracer would cause severe deviation in Bianca's mind, and its operational performance is far from ideal. What do you mean? You're in the other timeline? That's Stigmata's own lookout, not the Phantom Tracer's fault. Can't accept herself, can't even accept what she's become. Pathetic. It's no wonder she's frying her own mind in that frame with that attitude. Whatever. Do what you want with the Heterohive Mother's tissue and the Phantom Tracer, but you better find a way to drag Stigmata back. Or trust me, you really won't like seeing the bill for a frame development. Wait, what? Oh! Wait, that's why? That's why Stigmata was able to become a frame that could adapt like that? I see. Because I was kind of wondering, right? Like, even though you can get constructs can gain some resistance to that punishing virus, it's like she ended up way too compatible with like how the Stigmata frame had transformed from like the white kind of like a Elaine-like look to that dark form. And I was kind of wondering, how was that even possible? But I see. Because the Phantom Tracer was equipped with the Heterohive Mother's tissue, that's why the compatibility worked better in her being able to counteract the punishing when it came to that final boss fight with Chico. Now that makes sense. I see. Now that finally explains it. And again, being able to resonate with the stuff on the punishing, it's like, yeah, the Heterohive Mother would be able to, because they were able to sense everything that happened at the filter back in the forest. So I don't watch any trailers. I saw some characters, watching New Don Hung and some other people. So otherwise, nothing so far. That's good. No, yeah, to be fair. So I'll leave that up to you. I just wanted to kind of let you know, like, just generally about watching Don Hung finally having an active role in the story again. But I'll leave that there for you, because again, just as a surprise. It's not your concern. It better be. I'd hate to see my life's work just become disposable junk. This cold words Vasily simply vanishes in front of projection. Bianca's frame. The situation is undeniably dire. The Science Council has just received Stigmata's latest mind synchronization data. Bianca's exhibiting severe mind deviation. We had no mission updates for far too long. Given their current progress, they should be on the lower second or third level by now. The high concentration of punishing there is probably messing with their comms. Bianca. If I remember right, the Science Council's been working on a new frame customized just for her. Yeah, their progress has been consistently slow. The Science Council isn't just looking to churn another frame that can only lug around an Omega weapon. We've been trying to build this frame capabilities from a completely different angle. I remember this frame's core ability is purification. Given the current circumstances, compression would be a more accurate term to purification. Take the Phantom Tracer, for instance. Its primary function is data acquisition on the punishing virus. By scrambling the viral information structures, this frame can essentially thin out its concentration. It's like dropping ink onto a stream. It doesn't purify them in any real sense. Can the heterohive mother's tissue brought back from Kurno be put to use? It can be. After getting my hands on the tissue, I managed to simulate a Phantom Tracer reversal effect on using external equipment. It's enough to sustain this frame's combat operations, but only for a limited time. At the maximum, we're looking at 5 hours of runtime. After that, the frame's energy depletes. The system will force a shutdown. That should be enough for now. Worst case scenario, we might have to roll out this frame sooner than planned. Alright, I'll make sure this frame is deployed with the team transporting the Omega weapons. Asimov, can you handle the prep work for its deployment? No problem. Oh no, I see. No, it's the new frame that has the heterohive mother's tissue. Wait, so they had this whole frame already in the works, and they didn't use it? Well, then again, I guess because they said it was incomplete. I see. That's also what changed. The direness of the situation calls for a new frame. Gotcha. I see. So that's why Stigmata isn't going to be enough for this. Because at least back then, we didn't know how bad the situation was going to be, and we didn't know what risk we would need to take. As such, we were just being desperate and getting any single thing we could grab that was just at least in our hands. But this time, it's like we actually have to get out all our secret weapons, including this new frame. I see. I get you now. Okay. I guess I did confuse the thing with the tissue, because I thought that was like... I thought when they were talking about it being in the Phantom Tracer, that it was already on the Stigmata frame. I didn't think it's like... One has the Phantom Tracer, and one has the Phantom Tracer with the Heterhive Mother's tissue. And of course, it would be another Kurno project that they've been keeping from us. Typical. Hope this sounds cool, but yeah, guess I get back to work. My shift is still 2 more hours. 12 hours. Ooh, okay. Well, I'll let you get back to work, Mr. Lobster. Anyway, thanks for showing up this week. Cheers. Said Nicholas, stay behind. Still trying to get the Parliament on board. We're using your mecha weapons. Asimov, meanwhile, turns to access the meeting room. Bianca's new frame. Back at the Science Council, Asimov breezes past multiple layers of security until he reaches the classified laboratory. For the frame storage chamber, he stands motionless, his eyes fixed on the scrolling data of the virtual screen behind him. His mind races. The Phantom Tracer can extract information for the punishing virus. This capability isn't solely due to Kurno's technology. The true source is the heterohive mother's tissue embedded within it. Thanks to Commander Nicholas' arrangements, this invaluable specimen now resides securely within the Science Council. Oh, I see. Its potential should far exceed mere decrypting and compressing the information carried within punishing. It's as if a locked door looms before him, intangible yet undeniable. All he needs now is the key. A key that can really dissect the very essence of the punishing virus. Ah, I see. That's also the other difference. Yeah, because before, we thought Bianca's frame could handle it, and in the end, her Stigmata frame had kind of evolved into a different appearance and its capabilities. So that's why they never needed to give Bianca a new frame, hence why they never used it. They thought, oh, we have time, and Bianca's doing good with her Stigmata frame right now. We don't need to automatically deploy this frame anytime soon, so that's why we never saw it in the original timeline. But now in the shifted one, everything's changed. Damn, I've done like only one fight so far, what the hell? Well then again, I guess I had done most of that initially the first time around, so there's no reason to do it again the second time. Which is good, honestly. Because honestly, that'd just be wasting time. The partisan concentration in the air thickens gradually, disrupting communications over Babylonia. Transmissions fracture into static, making smooth contact impossible. Along the way, your group eliminates several more Hedo creatures like those encountered near the lower level signage, or lower level 2 signage, and likewise collects a few more cold, clammy metal name tags. But I spent a good 10 minutes looking for my replacement U-key since the one mechanical keyboard finally. Oh, okay, wow. But yo, what's up, Guardian? I saw that you had also done a stream for this when it actually released. But yeah, I didn't actually check the whole stream because my connection had suddenly broke off from Twitch at that moment because the Wi-Fi where I was at for work at the time was not that good. So, did you actually get Bianca? I mean, I probably shouldn't even need to ask because you probably did, but just for formality. Developer, Norris. After securing them carefully, you press forward. Yeah, I got my Bianca and got her built. Nice, nice. Same. The lower second level's passages twist into a labyrinth of shadows and steel. Seeing as one group are being inefficient, so after a brief discussion, you decide to split up. Watch you Chrome take the left path while Lucia leads the remaining rescue team members to the right. Who should I go with? Should I go with Lucia or Chrome and Wanchi? I feel like if I go with Lucia, it's gonna be the same old like before, but maybe with Chrome and Wanchi I could get a different perspective. I went with Lucia last time, so I'll move with Chrome and Wanchi. After a quick exchange to the rendezvous point, you head toward the left corridor with Chrome and Wanchi. Something's off here. It's way too quiet. Ever since your team stepped into the aquarium, the rustling of corrupted and hetero creatures, viscous sloshing at the red tide, these sounds have been your constant companions. By the way, Guardian, I wanted to ask, after checking that whole tutorial thing out, did you finally figure out how to use Virgil yet? I want to know so then I can know if I should be taking that seriously as well, so that I can really understand how to use mine. But now the sounds is deafening. Stay sharp and keep moving. Hands on their sidearms, ready to face ascendants at a moment's notice, the group cautiously continues their advance. This is... On the ground, a header creature lies dead. Its eyes, if you can even call them that, are staring wide open. I've not completed that long Virgil video, but I will eventually. Ah, okay. Bullet marks. These bullets aren't Babylonia's standard issue. Someone else has entered the aquarium. Tread carefully. Ascendants wouldn't bother with conventional attacks, but if not them, who else would be here at a time like this? Could it be Kurino, always lurking? There's nothing valuable to swipe here. I hear something up ahead. Oh, maybe Chico? Maybe she actually still survived this time? Or maybe it's Sif who was with Bianca. A brief burst of combat echoes from ahead. Just a single gunshot before the passage falls silent again. Not this damn thing again. Suddenly a soft feminine voice drifts to your ears. Dog tags, just my luck. More Babylonian. Wait, there was someone else here? In Copperfield Aquarium? What do you mean? There was no one else when we were last here in the other timeline. Damn, this place is huge. If I keep pushing like this, my leg's gonna give out. Voice gets closer, heading right for you. Seriously, who the hell is this? Don't move. Stay right there. Yeah, because it's like, the regular stuff that should have happened up to this point is normal. So you're telling me this person was here the whole damn time? And we never even saw her once. Jeez. You just about gave me a heart attack. For a second there I thought you were ghosts. Wonder what are you doing in this awful place? Who are you? Me? Why should I spill my guts to you? Who are you people? His eyes giving you a good once-over. Oh, you guys must be the hotshots from Babylonia, huh? Well, look who decided to slum it down here in this lovely sewer. You're A construct? Which faction are you with? That ain't Ishmael? Yeah, definitely ain't. I'm no Babylonian lapdog. I don't eat your scraps and I don't owe you a single explanation. Since we're not on the same side, we'll just be on our way. Since you can't tell friends from enemies in this place, there's no need to spend time trying to identify her. Wait. If your group actually starts to back away, the longer construct shifts their gaze and pipes up to stop you. What are you doing here? Does the aquarium have some valuable data worth your while? Or are you after something else? I'm not telling you. Apparently unfazed, the longer construct just grunts and goes quiet. Looks like she's the one who cleared out the hetero creatures from this corridor. The evidence definitely points to her, but it seems she's not gonna spill any more details. But how'd she even survive this long? This is the second level. Well, no, yeah, it's like, how? The punching virus concentration is even higher here. But I don't know her as any of the Ascendants. Maybe she's someone from the Church of Machina? Nah, they also wouldn't have been involved at this point in time, probably. Stay sharp. Let's push forward and link up with Lucia. As you press on, it's clear this construct really did a number on the hetero creatures in this corridor, wiping them all out. Surprisingly, instead of just leaving, she's now tailing you, keeping a steady distance. Should we try to get rid of her? It doesn't matter. If she's a defector working for the Ascendants, why would she have cleared out all the hetero creatures along the way? But if she isn't, what's her game? With that in mind, your group keeps a careful watchful distance for the construct who calls herself Lulu. So you head for the hull ad. According to the aquarium map, assuming that there are no cave-ins, you should be able to be with Lucy in the main hall straight ahead. Basement level 2. When we were in the right corridor, we saw hetero creatures devouring humans. It quickly explains what just happened. Looks like the situation's even worse than we thought. Then we need to find Bianca and Chico fast. Can't afford any more delays. The red time mutating into these new forms, every construct soldier Babylonia loses becomes another enemy gain. Commandant, on your end, the battered construct keeps following at a measured distance behind your group. You ran into a construct? She took out all the hetero creatures in that corridor, but beyond that, she's not sharing anything with us. As for the rest, just he's about to say something else, your terminal suddenly rings. Surprisingly, there's a weak signal here. Can you hear me? I can barely hear you. The signal should be more stable now. Xanthos, I'm briefing you on an urgent development. Bianca's condition has become critical. I could see that coming. Vesalius, the technical director from Kurno, just contacted me. Given that they developed the Stigmata frame, they possess the necessary systems to monitor its status. She told me that Stigmata is in critical condition and might already be heavily corrupted by the punching virus. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's the extra thing, isn't it? The other thing for summoning this new frame is because they were alerted by Kurno, i.e. Vesalius, about this frame being out of control. Bianca's going through severe mind deviation. Then we need to find Bianca and Chico fast. Can't afford any more delays. Right. I'll have the standby support team bring down Bianca's new frame, Crepuscule, along with the Phantom Tracer that's been modified into a cub. Oh, it's a cub. I see. Cool. Support. Has Palmer authorized the usage of Omega devices? Not yet. President Hess and Nicola went into the main conference room quite a while ago, and there's still no sign of them coming out. But we've already received the data from Chrome, and Nicola is mobilizing every available task force unit to the aquarium for maximum priority. So, what's the deal with Bianca's new frame? It's been in secret development for quite some time, just never activated until now. Stigmata's status isn't looking good, so we're rolling with Crepuscule for now. However, keep in mind, this frame can only sustain combat operations for approximately 5 hours. Beyond that, its energy reserves will be depleted, automatically shut down to sleep mode. Ah, kinda like how Verity's new frame came with risks too. Not surprising, they always have these limiter modes on them when they're from Kurno. Remember, The cub must be activated simultaneously with Bianca's new frame. It'll help keep the frame running longer. Phantom Tracer. How was the Phantom Tracer stigmata? The shorter than benchmark runtime wasn't unexpected. You weren't our first choice after all. It's surprising and fascinating. Also proves that your mind was deviating before your hallucinations appeared. Bianca. She isn't the primary compatible user. I never told you about this. Was this something you learned from another one of your visions? From another timeline? Yep. As early as when having your mind begin examination with Selena, you would discuss these visions with Asimov. However, found any precedents for reference, he couldn't definitively identify their cause. Why isn't she the primary compatible user? Yeah, explain, please. During the technical development phase, Kureno designs constructs for specific functions, not with particular individuals in mind. Most of them are built with functionality and technology as the main focus. Once the frames are done, they mass screen compatible users from their database. Anyone who proves compatible can use them. For good old cheek. Oh, was it? That'd be interesting. Ah, I see. So they only make amazing frames, but they don't they figure like someone's gonna fit them, right? We have all these constructs we keep making. Someone's gonna fit them. So they just focus on making the ultimate weapon, but never about like the ultimate weapon that can be suitable for the perfect person. So it's not like how it's kind of similar to like how Excalibur can only be held by King Arthur, right? Or kind of actually the reverse of that. Not actually thinking of compatibility, but more so just like at some point there will be one chosen person for it, but it just depends on luck. It's not like it was like orchestrated since the very beginning. This development approach is concerningly aggressive, as they're willing to employ any means to achieve their goals. That explains why the Imperial frame had a lot of drawbacks. However, this very approach enables them to compress new frame development cycles to an alarming degree. Ah, I see. So that's why they always keep having like these amazing frame datas. But again, it's like they never have it used normally or in perfect condition for a construct. There's always a but or a consequence every time, and that's why, because compatibility is never their first thing. That explains it. That's like giving getting like all your weapons in a shooting game, but you give them all to a bunch of rookies, you know? Like, they won't know jack shit how to use it. You just have to be lucky that someone can just find a way to just like adapt to it in a short amount of time. And speaking of Fate Strange Fake coming back in January. I know, right? That's crazy. Like, I was like, they're coming back again? I was expecting at least 2027 or 2028 for them to come back. But I swear, I'm gonna make a guess right now. This might be a hot take, but I'm gonna make a guess. When they release in January, it's gonna be just 2 episodes. And then they're gonna be like, in 2027. I hope not, but considering how alarmingly distinct the trailers and then the actual release of episode 1 was for Fate Strange Fake, I wouldn't discount that it would be possible. Like, really. Correspondingly, this type of frame doesn't have a long service life. It's more likely to cause mind deviation. Bianca received her modifications at Daedalus, so her Veritas frame data is already archived in Kureno's systems. It would naturally factor into any compatibility assessment. Before her deployment to Copperfield Aquarium, Kureno offered Bianca access to Stigmata, with one condition. She needed to provide sufficient experimental data in return. She accepted the terms. Babylonia is super particular when it comes to specialized frames. Aside from her period's unique case, every other frame goes through endless compatibility tweaks. They're always pushing the envelope technically, but never at the expense of safety. Yeah, because that's the thing with Lee's Hyperreal frame, right? Like, they didn't give it to him immediately when the idea was formed. Like, Asimov kept being like, let's wait until it's perfected. But when it came to the Spiral of Chronos chapter, it's like, he had to. And at the very least, they had done some tweaks with compatibility before that happened. However, this methodical approach inevitably leads to greater research challenges, and consequently longer development cycles. I see. So that's probably what the other timeline was kind of like. That's why, in the end, we lost, for the most part. To Vonnegut's plan, to Agent Zero's plan, and to the fate that Ishmael had predicted, is because we were too passive, right? We kept thinking we could take our time. Humanity has lasted long since the start of punishing, since the Acadia evacuation. They can survive, but no. That kind of thinking will backfire on us. Just because we have a lot of constructs, just because we have a good amount of forces on the world together, just because we're neutral with the Ascendants, doesn't mean the world will be back to normal that much sooner. If anything, that just shows like it's taken us way too long just to reach that point now. Because that's how I definitely feel like here. It's like here we really kind of had to like push to get these things done. Specifically with this chapter, and a bit when it came to the Salinas chapter. While you managed to develop an emergency coating to cover the Stigmatis frame's exterior before departure, the solution ultimately cannot solve the mind deviation caused by frame incompatibility. Can a deep mind connection temporarily smooth out the mind deviation? Yeah, but swapping out the frame altogether is still the best bet. I'll prepare Bianca's Crypt School frame for transport and have it dispatched with the first surface support team. And I'll need you to deliver the transport pod to her. Doesn't look like good news. Bianca's already having mind deviation. Let's keep pushing. No sign of them on the ground floor or the lower first floor. They're probably looking into uncharted parts of the second level, or the third. Let's go. After a quick gear check, the team presses on. Surprisingly enough, the consort who calls herself Lulu keeps trailing your team, keeping a distance. The path ahead is treacherous. Other creatures and corrupted constantly ambush from the sides alongside the relentless red tide. Why are there so many hetero creatures? Behind you. Suddenly, a vicious creature. Hidden within the red tide lunges from the ceiling. Towards its hack lands, a gunshot echoes through the air. As the gun smoke clears, the long-haired consort casually retracts the gun from her left arm. Thanks. No matter what, she just saved a Babylonian soldier. Hold on a second. There's a catch. Sorry about that. I was helping my mom with her PowerPoint thing. I can see what you're up to. You're here to save somebody too, aren't you? I need you to help me find someone. Ooh. Grace. Ah, shit. Well, I mean, as the player, unfortunately, it seems like Grace was already taken. I see. So this... No, this must be the other reason why, right? Vonnegut probably brought Grace because he needed to speed this up, right? And that's why she ended up here, because she probably saw that Grace had been last located here. That's probably what the other difference was too. Because I was going to say, it's like, we did not see this chick the whole time we've been here last time. We didn't hear about anyone else dying here. Scarlet Revelation? If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even be working with you Babylonians. Oh, okay, so that's the squad. Wait, what? Wait, who's Grace again? No, wait, Grace is the leader, right? Of that cult thing? Right? Or am I wrong? So wait, she was part of it? The Scarlet Revelation? But again, it's like, we never saw her before. But then again, it's like, maybe she had died early on trying to protect Grace or something. I don't know. Why are you suddenly willing to work with us now? There are just too many corrupted and weird creatures past this lower third level for me to handle on my own. Will you help me find Grace? I'll tell you everything I know about the rats ahead. But we had no means to verify what you have to say. I'm right here, and let's be real. My combat skills are trash compared to any construct in your group. And my rap mat's fake, just kill me. Isn't that what you Babylonians are so damn good at? You don't say anything. I'll take that as your silent go-ahead. As a bonus, I'll be gracious enough to tell you my name. You don't have to. Aren't you all just dying to know who I am? We're only traveling together for a bit. No need to swap life stories. Hey, a little curiosity wouldn't kill you. My name's Lulu. Don't you forget it. I'm Lulu, the first Grand Protector of the Scarlet Revelation. Scarlet Revelation doesn't have constructs. At the very least, they don't have the means to turn people into constructs. How would you even know? What if the Scarlet Revelation has a Grand Priest who can easily turn humans into constructs in a flash? No way. Never mind. It's getting boring. I'm just a construct rambling on the surface, and Grace took me in. I'm just tagging along to get by. Grace is always spouting that spiritual mumbo-jumbo. Who knows what's going on in her head? Before she left, she ditched all the old, weak, and sick folks outside, then let the rest of her followers in here to seek salvation. With her gone, a bunch of idiots were already yelling about leaping into the red tide to find salvation. I had no choice but to come here myself. I'm not gonna be responsible for those idiots' lives. Commandant? So he takes 2 steps back, her gaze fixed on you. Can we trust her? I'm not sure. This construct's frame condition is poor. It doesn't appear to have been regularly maintained. There are no Ascendant-like energy fluctuations emanating from her. Yeah, because I was gonna say is like, could it be like Vonnegut decided to have her like take Grace and then bring her to Lithos? We can stick together for now, but let's stay on our toes. Right. I'll keep an eye on her. The aquarium isn't a playground. If her goal is truly to rescue Grace, then it aligns with Babylonia's objectives. But if she tries anything, your team has more than enough combat power to handle her. Wait, I remember Grace. I think that's the group from Bianca's Solitary Dream skin. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Oh, I probably don't Oh, I see. Yeah, I barely remembered the little storylines they have for the different skins for characters, so I guess that would make sense how I don't know. But damn, you remember that, Guardian? Well, better looks on your faces. You two finally come to an understanding. Let's get going. Watch yourselves. You fall behind and walk into a trap, don't expect me to bail you out. Ugh, this scenery again. The original plan was for Bianca's team to head back to the surface for the lower second level, but a sudden surge of the red tide stops them dead in their tracks. The Red Tide is on the prowl, hunting like a starving wolf and herding the remaining lambs before it. Bianca and Sylph are barely holding their own, but they managed to guide the Scarlet Revelation survivors to shelter near the lower third level. The lower third level is massive. One section was designed for Grand Marine live performances, while the other twists and turns like a meticulously crafted maze. Here we go again. She twitches her ears, immediately picking up the sounds of the approaching Red Tide. Devour, save, watch. Together, come join us. Welcome. Copperfield Aquarium welcomes you. Why don't you join us? Which suitable? Ah, yeah, the voices. She tries to stay conscious, pushing away those endless whispering voices. Sylph, take them and go on ahead. We can't leave. There's no way out. There's only one path left, since the Ascendants deliberately herding these lambs to a predetermined spot. So, we're stuck moving forward, aren't we? No, okay, yeah, it is the same Grace. Okay, I was just getting kind of confused. I was like, I don't remember. Is the cult leader's name Grace, or was it a different name? But I'm good. Lady Revelationist, do we really have to press on? It's come to this, hasn't it? What? Didn't you promise to lead us to rebirth in the future? Rebirth? Isn't it right behind you? Yeah, because that was also kind of the funny thing before. It's like, that is kind of what they wanted, and yeah, all of a sudden she just kind of turned against it. It's completely fixated, staring at the red tide slowly rising behind Grace. Those are monsters. How could that be? It's Marvin! Don't you see? He's waving at us. Hey. Lady Revelationist, thank you for leading us to rebirth. We won't have to starve anymore. Liam's about to jump into the red tide. Lady Revelationist, at least, not yet. If you enter rebirth now, God will be displeased. God does not wish to accept your offerings under such hasty circumstances. Is that so? Yeah, didn't you just see them? Those monsters are punishment sent straight from the heavens. Only when the time is right. Here she goes again. As long as those followers don't dive into the red tide and just become another headache for us. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it is better than that. So, let's just let her play along. She's still just dropping those useless little pebbles as markers. As long as they're happy. How's the situation with the Purifying Force members? Terrible. 3 are injured and showing symptoms of corruption. Their minds are already starting to deviate. On top of that, 2 members got swept away by the red tide when we were making our escape. They just couldn't move fast enough. Quick breather? No, it's not safe here yet. Keep moving. When Bianca finished speaking, her teeth clenched. Lurched forward, her blade flashing in a single decisive strike. To the head creature just as it lunges for Sylph from behind. The reprieve is short-lived. The red tide surges forth, spearing from the drainage up. Sylph, take them ahead. Get into that room and seal the door. I'll hold the rear. Without words, Sylph hoists an injured construct onto her back and calmly directs the Scarlet Revelation members to evacuate. Meanwhile, Bianca musters her strength, pushing back the relentless hetero creatures hot on their heels. It's the witch. Captain, join us. Within the red tide, countless projections churn, making sounds like ghostly chains. Bianca catches a glimpse of the door slowly closing. Delivers one final strike, then her eyes flutter shut in exhaustion. Just as the red tide is about to swallow Bianca whole, Sylph darts out from the doorway like lightning, grabbing her. She's a climbing rope to slide back into the room moments before the door slams shut. Tide batters the sealed door. Damn, a lot of this has literally just been me fighting monsters, or just watching this whole time. Maybe I have to I'll do one more challenge thing, because it's taking a lot longer than I thought. Sea service not far from Copperfield Aquarium. The sky hangs dark and heavy as a massive storm brews on the horizon. The vessel tears through the gloomy clouds. Oh, Cerberus, right. Does it really take this much effort to locate an aquarium's drainage outlets? Huh? This hellhole hasn't seen maintenance in ages. The fact they even found this place at all is pretty darn impressive. I smelled it. The drainage. Over there. Oh, okay, yeah. She's not in her feral frame yet. Grey River Command's intelligence very accurate. Hey! Don't make such a fuss. Have you checked the punishing concentration? Hold on a second. Whoa! The punishing concentration here is way higher than the waters we just came through. Not bad for the Grey Raven Commandant. Enough talk. Let's get off the boat. Speedboat boss precariously as opposed to the beach. Good, at least our info is actually coming in handy. Turn the corner around the sand dune, they spotted drainage outlet. Targeted a person using a small patch of the red tide that practically stars at them. This is sentence are tasteless as always. Did they really breed all these? Like this casually limited a still writhing hetero creature. There could be a disgust on his face. That's not even the half of it. This isn't a hetero creature. This thing used to be human. Scraps of fabric, not yet completely corrupted by the red tide, cling to the massive flesh. Likely what's left of some unlucky construct. Maybe some poor soul who just wandered. Ascendant's annoying. Keep your eyes peeled. Given the heavy punishing concentration around here, Ascendants are probably still lurking nearby. That's perfect. Just what I need to warm up these fists. Mission first. Get the Omega weapons deployed near the surface or sea surface outlet. Those two from Strikehawk better pick up the pace, I'm afraid. I'm afraid the Ascendants have already got a wind of us the moment we hit the beach. Mister, it's people from Babylonia. They discovered the abandoned testing grounds. On the monitor, the red-haired construct stares provocatively at the micro camera. Clearly tracking down such electronic devices, no sweat for Babylonians. Of course. Farrah's clever. Of course she would know that they'd be watching. Mister, should we drive them away? How is the fusion of Chico and the heterohumanoid progressing? The incubation isn't complete yet. The progress has been smooth so far, but it'll take more time. Open the floodgates. Unleash the red tide that's built up at the bottom of the abandoned testing grounds. Mister? It doesn't rarely ever stop. Chico's incubation isn't complete yet. She's still in the storage tank on the lower third level. What I'm trying to say is, if we release the red tide, the experiment might fail. Once those floodgates are open, take Chico and head for the backup facility on the island to keep going. I've already left enough materials there. Ah, not the island. Mister, what about you? I'll stay behind to handle the storage tank situation. Once I'm done, I'll catch up with you at the island. I see. Oh wait, of course they had another secret base. Billy leaves the monitor room. Monica stands in an empty room, his eyes clouded with thought. Flips through surveillance feeds, watching the Grey Raven Commander and Lucia's group close in on Bianca's location. Grey Raven Commandant. Xanthos. What was that name I guess? The disappearance of the tower. Could it be because of you? Aw man, he's starting to connect the dots. Really bad. We don't need him to change all his plans. Right. The purple-haired ascendant dressed like a phantom to this graveyard of their own making. What? This is what the depths of it look like? Holy shit. Yeah, this definitely would have been way too much for us to handle back then. He expertly weaves to the tight spots where the creepy hetero creatures acting like docile kittens at his command. Here. Comes to a halt right over the massive red tide storage tank. Well, that's a new one. It was his eyes at the eerie tentacles poking out the storage tank's side. Some frown creasing his brain. No matter though. It won't derail what we're doing now. Alright then. Come along, Miss Monster. The instruments around the storage tank hum along steadily. Everything's playing right into his and Mister's hands. The paper crane execution chair morphs into a huge mechanical contraption, effortlessly lifting the bizarre humanoid figure right out of the storage tank. Whoa! Chico's evolved way... What do you mean she's not ready? She's already evolved way further than what she was before. If anything, back then, she was incomplete. Well, then again, I guess like I said, because Vonnegut's gotten more involved, I guess that's what actually sped up her evolution. It's okay. It's almost over. But damn, having to face a full-powered, hetero creature Chico? That is definitely gonna be a lot harder of a fight, probably. His voice is gentle, as if he's trying to soothe the bizarre unconscious humanoid figure. Paper Crane lifts her up and trails slowly behind Lithos as they press onward. There's an underwater passage, leading directly to a nearby island. A route Mr. established long ago as a backup plan, meticulously prepared in advance. Now as long as... Chico suddenly starts feeling wildly. Chico? The execution chair reacts quicker than Lithos can, clamping down hard on Chico's limbs, his metal fist deep into her flesh. Chico? Lithos moves closer to Chico to figure out what went sideways. He's already pared down this construct's memories. It should have. The aberrant humanoid seems to have completely lost its mind. She dashes wildly, ignoring Paper Crane's restraints. A grotesque twist of her body, and at the cost of chunks of her own flesh, she breaks free from the execution chair. Chico, over here. Follow me. Just like how he handles other hetero creatures, Lithos tries to get close to Chico. Oh, is she maybe sensing the punishing that's in Bianca's stigmata frame? And that's what she's reacting to? Lithos immediately unleashes countless red tide strands that coil around him like a toxic cloud. But Chico, now measured a hetero-humanoid, clearly isn't fazed by these attacks. She aggressively closes in on the purple-haired ascendant, slashing at him without a moment's hesitation. Lithos curls up in the execution chair. Develops him like a custom-made cage, keeping him perfectly protected. Where did things go sideways? Chico before him clearly has no self-consciousness. Why was she awakened at this moment and developed desires to break free and attack? After her strike misses, Chico gives up her attack and vanishes in a flash. Her eyes remain vacant, as if she's performing all these actions unconsciously. Why can't you just be a good little test subject and play along? Transcending death. Isn't that humanity's pursuit? Purple-haired descendant lets out his soft sighs as Paper Crane, doing exactly what he wants, takes off after Chico in the direction she ran. Idiot Crane's drainage outlet. Number 21 squints and cocks her head, listening hard for something after taking out the third mini surveillance camera. Number 21. Captain, I hear something over there. Back up. We slowly back your way. 5 minutes later, a thin stream of red tide oozes out of the massive drainage outlet, slipping forward with a thick wriggling movement. You're an idiot, 21. This is what you heard? No. Wait. Faint but thunder-like echo rumbles from deep inside the pipes. Fall back! Fairgrounds 21 scrambles up the hill above the drainage outlet. In a flash, with a deafening roar, the red tide surges forward. It's like a dragon diving into the sea, swallowing everything in its sight. Damn! They're really going all out just to take us down? We just stay as dumbfounded, the red tide gushing below. We're really gonna clear this place out with the handful of our mecha weapons we brought? Prioritize sealing off this drainage outlet. Something big must have gone down inside the aquarium. The Ascendants wouldn't just ditch this hideout to deal with us. Noctis, get around back and bring the boat over here. 21, find the floodgates. Where the construct stays down the red tide below, expression completely cold. Terminal crackles with a cacophony of static. Can you hear me, Grey Raven Commandant? Signal seems intermittent. Your voice on your end fades in and out. I hear you. The floodgates on the drainage outlets are open. Had you guys gone head-to-head with the Ascendants yet? Not yet. Alright, to cut to the chase, we're deploying all our mega weapons near the drainage outlets. If there are any floodgates, we'll try to shut them. But right now, even if the three of us dove into the sea with our mega weapons strapped on, we couldn't halt the red tide influx. Come on. We're a good ways off from the aquarium, and the punishing virus is scrambling to location signals. It's gonna take them a while to track us down here. You really throw me a curveball, Greyraven Commandant. Stay safe. Doesn't matter. Servers won't fold over this. With the red tide release, the Ascendants might go all out or try to escape. You should... Red tide surge forward and the punishing virus interference cuts off the communication. Ferris smirks at the ever-present danger. Flick of her wrist, she tucks the terminal away as if the threat means nothing to her. Captain, someone sabotaged the floodgate controls. I knew it. Let's move. We need to meet up with Noctis. These few Omega weapons won't be enough to block the water outlets. It's okay. She manages to put her smile, her gaze fixed on the red tide as it floods the sea, concern clouding her eyes. Don't we still have the boat? With the red tide release, the Ascendants might go all out or try to escape. You should... Commandant, what's the situation with Cerberus? The red tide's been released from the drainage outlets. The Ascendants might try to escape or launch an attack. But we haven't run into any Ascendants yet. They're probably watching us through surveillance or something. Inside the aquarium's massive tank, several bionic fish swim silently. We're currently in a corridor on the lower second level. Lulu hasn't been lying, at least not about the directions. She successfully led your group around most of the red tide contamination and collapsed areas on the lower second level, bringing you to a lower third level's entrance. But if we go any deeper, we'll probably lose contact with Babylonia. Every single transmission from Bianca and Chico cut off after they went to the lower second level. Wanchi, please take the intel and samples we gathered so far back to Babylonia first. Roger that. This rough and narrow terrain isn't favorable for a sniper to operate effectively. Rather than continue to explore forward, he's better suited to help you secure a return route first. Anyone who wants to bail now can head back with Wanchi. What's with this anyone who wants to bail talk? You're talking about me, just spit it out. No way am I leaving. I haven't found Grace yet. Even if the red tide swallowed her whole, I'm still dragging her back with me. From you exchange a quick glance, signaling that Lulu is not going to hold your group back. Alright, let's go. Alright, we'll do one more and then I'll see if I can do the challenge one again. Damn, it's a lot of story context so far. Grace carries Bianca on her back, fleeing through the narrow passages in a posture so strained it borders on comical. Even as she weaves through the ever-lurking hetero creatures, Grace stubbornly leaves a hidden trail of divination stones in her wake. Maybe never a rescue team will show up. Maybe these markers will lead rescue to them. She naively clings to that thin rope, or thin hope like a child gripping the last shred of a fraying rope. I can't carry this construct anymore. We're almost at the safe zone. Just hang in there. I mean, those purifying force constructs were so conscious, didn't they? Didn't they say we could just leave them behind? Minutes ago, surging red tide was held back by the sealed doors. The rumbling that's steadily getting louder clearly screams this place won't be safe for long. Any bandages left? She moved like a flash to pull Bianca out, but even so, the red tide still left her with severe injuries. Bandages? All we have is some regular human bandages. Will those work? She was the only one left in the purifying forces still in the game. Apparently, the Scarlet Revelation didn't have any meds that work on constructs. Turned away, mentally ticking off the casualties. The 3 seriously wounded from the last red tide attack, one had taken a turn for the worse. One was barely hanging on, and the captain was still on cold. At least they didn't lose anyone else to it. As for the Scarlet Revelation, are you taking a head count, officer? We only have 2 members with minor injuries. The rest are just knackered from supply shortages, but everyone's still able to move. You go on ahead. Huh? The purifying force is having a tough time moving. You're still on your feet, so get a move on. Well, no time to tibber. Soundly, Sylph pushed Bianca onto her back, then bundled the other 2 injured members together and dragged them forward. If they ran to Ascendance, Scarlet Revelation, being short on combat power, would be completely insignificant. Then we would just focus on wiping out the more troublesome Babylonian constructs first. Scarlet Revelation members were still mobile, kept their wits about them and played their cards right, they might just get away. As it thought, Sylph's dagger whipped out the moment she spotted someone reaching for Bianca. The blade stopped dead, perilously close to Race's cheek. Sylph realized who it was. Sorry, I just wanted to help you carry her, officer. I told you to go on ahead. No, we can't leave you behind. There has to be a way to get everyone out of here together. We're only alive thanks to you purifying force officers. Grace resolutely hefted Bianca onto her back, while another follower scooped up another injured construct from the ground. Sylph gave up trying to rein in Grace. The rumble behind the door became louder and louder as the red tide kept hammering at the thin metal structure. Go, now! A slight mechanical click, viscous fluid, suddenly gushed through the cracked gate like a bursting dam. Officer? Circling back, Grace was shoved by Sylph into a temporary safe corridor. Meet me up ahead. They said it themselves that we could just leave them behind. You heard them too. Leave them behind? You really think you can make it out of here on your own? She asked calmly, turning to face the person who suggested it. That's not what I meant. I just figured we'd have an easier time now, that's all. No. As long as we have their companions with us, that construct can still fight. But a construct that can still fight will definitely come back for us, no matter what. Otherwise, what's just a minor threat to a construct could kill us at any moment. Are you looking to die? But the red tide is all over the aquarium. We could just bring them with us into the red tide, embrace rebirth. Right, the red tide. If we believe in the god of the red tide, he will guide us to happiness beyond. The red tide is rebirth and salvation. God shall create paradise. God shall grant eternal life to the red tide. Yeah. Isn't that what you have always told us, Lady Revelationist? But open your eyes and look around. The red tide here. All those slimy chunks of flesh. Those deformed monsters. Do you really want to embrace this kind of red tide? Do you want to enter this kind of rebirth? The red tide here is not the same as the red tide we worship anymore. Grace is oddly expressionless as she states this pathetic fact. Grace once tried to believe that this red tide could guide into rebirth, but neither the amalgamated flesh pulp nor the bizarre hetero creatures resemble the beautiful visions described in their doctrine. It's been artificially manipulated, twisting believers' wills and leading them into an irrational hell. This kind of red tide can't bring us the truly blessed rebirth. But we need to harness Babylonia's power, the construct's power, to break free from this place. Only then can we look for the true paradise. Prepared to pay any price for this, even if it means taking advantage of the construct's good nature, even if Babylonia comes after her for it later. Wow, she's actually having this kind of like revelation much earlier, because again, that was like after they had escaped, not this point. Follower just climbs up looking sheepish. Grace goes to lift the unconscious Bianca, gritting her teeth as she pushes ahead. Around the corner, Sylph waits, her face shadowed by the hood. Officer. Grace's hair practically stands on end. She's not sure how much this construct caught, and she can't tell if, after hearing her plan, the construct would stop. Let's go. To confirm Bianca is injured, Sylph whips out her dagger and takes care of the hetero creature chasing Grace and her followers. Officer, just now, the red tide has brought down the structure above us. This whole area could give way any second. Let's keep moving. The corridor ceiling caves in almost instantly, with metal structures snapping apart alongside explosive cracks. So flings out a climbing rope, hauls back the follower who had tumbled into the water, then grabs the purifying force construct the follower was carrying. Let's go. Seawater gushing into the passage of the red tide greedily devours lives due to the rushing current. Bandits, Scarlet Revelation members scatter every which way. This way. So grabs Grace by the elbow and sprints forward. Unfortunately, they picked the wrong direction. Ahead, a metal door sealed tight, clearly not something that'll budge easily. Behind them, such a herd of creatures ride the tide, suddenly closing in. What's that noise? Massive metallic cracking sounds erupt, one after another, as if something's collapsing. It's down there. Should be on the lower third level. Must be Bianca and her team. If we head toward that sound source, we can only go in from this way, but the map shows 3 or 4 corridors leading to the lower 3rd level. Every single one is either choked to impassable amounts of red tide or looks completely caved in. If we use controlled demolition on the collapsed part and set up some basic supports, we might be able to get to the 3rd level, but we only have enough mini explosives for 1 blast. Ah, shit. So we pick and choose. Wanchi should have already gotten our message to Babylonia. Until backup gets here, we need to play it safe. Same at the 3rd. This incredibly narrow corridor was more for showing off than handling crowds back when the aquarium was still open. Maybe this the perfect spot? The red tide. Thick gooey liquid snakes up through the cracks. The area beyond this collapsed corridor is already chock full of the deep red organic stuff. It's like it's alive. As this thought unexpectedly surfaces and you're about to continue with the investigation, Lucia returns from up ahead. Commandant, a minute ago we detected a small amount of red tide in the crevices of the 2nd one. It's spreading. It's as if you're being watched. The red tide blocks every single path you try to take. We should have packed more mini explosives. No one could have seen this coming. That said, now, I should make the most of your last remaining supplies. Huh? What's wrong? This is... She picks a stone carved with mysterious runes from a narrow crevice. Her eyes winding surprise. Oh, yeah, Grace's trail. Rune symbols? Wait, how do you know about this occult stuff? I just picked up bits and pieces here and there. That crazy woman's got a whole collection of these weird trinkets. I really don't know where she gets the energy. She can barely afford to eat, but still finds time to tinker with this stuff. This stone, it really looks like something of hers. Golden paint. Marv is the one who painted this paint back then. There's also a scratch mark here. This definitely belongs to Grace. She presses it against the narrow gap shutting inside. Echoes. Beyond this gap there's a passageway. Scout the space behind. Position confirmed. There's a narrow passage behind that can fit 1 or 2 people at a time. Scout drone reports minimal red tide presence in the passage. We're clear to proceed. Set it up. The explosive barely managed to blast open a path. As the rubble and narrow passage just wide enough for 2 to squeeze through side by side stretches ahead. Looks like a staff passage leading down the performance area. Confirming everything's clear, your group heads into the passage one after another. Intelligent points to the Copperfield Aquarium harboring at least 1 ascendant, plus a massive amount of red tide, enough to pose a real threat to the surrounding waters. Wanchi's returning to Babylonia with the red tide samples. Next we'll proceed to the lower 3rd level attempt to find the rescue teams that were previously lost to the aquarium, prevent the red tide from entering the sea. And the above concludes this aquarium mission log of Grey Raven and Strikehawk. The hour-long debate over whether to roll out their mega weapons has finally quieted down. The parliament chamber goes silent with only the white noise from lingering projections still humming. The samples Wanchi brought back. Is the analysis report ready yet? It's done. Asimov says the samples are riddled with human gene fragments and vital fluid, along with hints of abnormal punching virus, but they can't quite figure out its specific evolutionary path. Asimov can only speculate that the Ascendants might be attempting to use humans, constructs, hetero creatures, and the Red Tide to breed some new organisms. Based on its current rate of evolution, even using the most conservative estimates of red tide concentration in the aquarium. If it ever reaches the open sea, our surface bases would face a surge of hetero creatures before the sea becomes completely contaminated, with projections estimating from at least 127 times the current numbers. And that's the low-end forecast. Can we still reach the Grey Raven Commandant? We've been continuously attempting to make contact, but the punishing virus concentration underground the aquarium is too high, severely interfering with communication signals. We haven't been able to re-establish contact yet. Even so, that doesn't justify deploying Omega weapons. They're just hetero creatures. Once you get Omega weapons back into mass production... Furthermore, I just received new intelligence. The Ascendants are in possession of the hetero-humanoid twins' remains. When we combine this with the red tide sample analysis, their intentions become clear. Ah, there we go. Oh, he's using the Nicola, you. He's using this as his trump card. the fact that only I knew that it had the twins' remains on them, right? So he had to use my vision to influence them, because he's like, they just need that one push to know how severe the situation is, and that's what he's using now. The heterohumanoid twins. Then we have to throw everything we got at this threat to wipe it out. Otherwise. But that's just to never wind up punishing Virus's creations. Who knows how many more monsters like that are out there on the surface. Once the lunar base is back up and running, and as long as we got enough mega weapons, why do we sweat defeating just one of the punishing Virus's creations? But what about the body count? When you're just pushing off a statistic, just one of the punishing Virus creation will cost how many soldiers their lives? Sacrifice is a soldier's duty. They're born to protect humanity's future. Producing Omega weapons doesn't happen overnight. And while we wait, how many more conservation areas will be wiped out? How many lives lost just to buy time until those weapons are ready? For humanity's future, all of that is fair game. The opposing counselor is practically spitting fire, passionately pounding the table. As he's about to launch into another tirade, asking for the center of the assembly hall, starts to speak slowly. Once the red tide from the Copperfield Aquarium spreads out, it will enter the sea. Even if it hits the sea, that's still... Once the red tide reaches the sea, in just one day, it'll impact a total of 13 conservation areas, and the plantations under Babylonia's control. With the aquarium as the center, several ports and coastal conservation areas are marked one after another. If we don't get the red tide under control soon, within a week, hetero creatures spawned by it will start hitting shore across much wider areas. By then, these conservation areas and reclaimed ports are all to some extent tied up with the Council's financial interests. I'm sure we all remember the absolute havoc the heterohumanoid twins wreaked on Babylonia. We can't afford to see Babylonia's assets get trashed again. That's why we need to deploy those Omega weapons without a moment's hesitation. Otherwise, these hetero creatures keep evolving and we end up with huge flying ones and the heterohumanoid twins like before. Babylonia will be left high and dry, completely defenseless. Don't forget, we've only ever had one goal: taking back Earth. But what about humanity's future? Without Earth, humanity has no future. Everyone, we just received an update from the engineering force members stationed at the lunar base. This is the lunar base scout team. We surveyed 90.5% of the lunar base. The rest will be done in the next few hours. Wow, they sped that up. Must have been Nicola who pressured him. After that, everything falls into place. Under Nicola's command, the fully prepped engineering force quickly touches down and starts clearing out the nearly ruined aquarium to set up Omega weapons. Good on you, Nicola. Move it, faster! Even if we could haul 2 more supply crates by yourself, everyone else is still moving at the same snail's pace. Hey, what are you doing? You're gonna crush someone. Don't just stand there twiddling your thumbs. After you get this batch of supplies moved, grab Bianca's frame transport pod and figure something out. You're coming down with me to deliver the frame. Are you kidding me? The aquarium's lower first level is practically gone. There's barely enough room for a person to squeeze through, let alone a huge frame transport pod. You always pull something out of the hat. I'll leave it to you. Gives Teddy a quick pat on the shoulder before she's off. Hey, don't do such a weird job to me. As Teddy's about to toss it off the box, pressing down her head in defiance, a full explosion rumbles. That direction. Complex lines shoot out from the terminal as Teddy quickly sketches a rough layout of the aquarium, using data she's already gathered. That's where the aquarium's drainage outlets are. Wow, this is the legendary Cerberus style in action. I finally get to see it. Will that even work? You're asking me? Trust Captain. Bunch of lunatics. Shut up and get to work. After firmly securing the Omega weapons to the boat, Varric glares harshly at the others scattered around. Before you question my plan, do me a favor and come up with a better solution. Does anyone have a better way to immediately solve our little problem here? Besides attaching the Omega weapons to the boat and sinking it to block that damn drainage outlet at the source? Ah, that's what she wanted the boat for. Smart! No, I wasn't questioning you at all. Don't just stand there gawking Noctis. Finish up and get number 21 back to shore. Red's eyes narrow as she quickly tallies the mega weapon she has on hand. You were with Cerberus Broad, and the supplies Kamui and Kamui just delivered as the Green River Command promised. Still don't have enough mega weapons to secure the entire coastline around the drainage outlet. But they can take this boat apart. They secured your mega weapons to the boat and then scattered the dismantled pieces strategically around the outlet. They could really make their limited weapons count and temporarily seal off this red tide influx point. Farah, I'm all done over here. Get to shore. Once she's sure everyone else is safe on land, Farah plants herself at the bow, a chilling smirk playing on her. Ascendants, did you honestly think something like this would stop Cerberus? I never go back on my word. A grin stretches across the red-haired Cossack's face as she curls up the corner of her mouth. Is there a banner spear high overhead, his flag snapping in the wind. Go to hell, you damn red tide, and all your hetero creatures with you. Mega weapons are going full throttle as their banner spear slices through the air, right through the ship's power system. Banner spear punches through the vessel, and then the metal hull starts growing with dull rumbles, something like popcorn popping. With the key structural points they prepped beforehand now weakened, the ship slowly breaks apart and sinks into shallow red tide-infested waters. We did it! Such a red tide visibly loses steam. Not bad. It's working. Noctis, mark this spot. We're meeting up with the Grey Raven Commandant. If they're still kicking. Try not to look too pathetic when we meet, Grey Raven Commandant. Wait, what the hell? There are two things now? In a custom movie? Oh boy. Alright. Unfortunately, I think this is where I'm gonna have to leave out the stream for tonight. I know. We only got to do one battle and try out Bianca, and I did say I would try to do it again, but it's already pretty late. I want to have my dinner now.
Anata wa motto toi mirai no koto o shinpai shite iru you desu ga, watashi no shinpai wa me no mae no koto. 未来へ向かう前にお体を大切にすべきです。仕事は任せて少しお休みくださいね。
There you go, Bianca. A jammy segment. Maybe let me give a shout out to everyone who showed up to the stream tonight. So shout out to Boston_71_07, the Lobster 007, and Garney Soulblade for all showing up to the stream. Great chatting with y'all. I'll see what I can do with this, because let's see. I'll see. I probably will stream East 9 Monster Nox tomorrow. I'll see if maybe I can do a double stream, so then I can do more of the stuff for Punishing Grey Raven. If not, then I'll see if I can do that like on Wednesday or something, because I want to go back to Trails in the Sky first chapter on Tuesday, since I already did my grinding that I need to do earlier today. And yeah, we'll see how exactly we can go with this. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy the stream but are not already following the channel, please make sure to leave a follow. Much appreciated. Check my YouTube channel where I post all the VODs. Subscribe to it as well. Join Discord, you guys not already. Links are all in the description. But yeah, I gotta say, so far this chapter looking really good so far. Because again, it's basically the Stigmata chapter, but revamped into something much cooler, honestly. Because again, the whole thing with the Phantom Tracer was one of the things that I didn't really like. And they tried to make you feel about this whole Chico with Bianca thing, but it's like, it wasn't really outlined that much over the course of the story, so you didn't really feel anything, or like, just too many complications with the whole like visions that Bianca was seeing because of the Phantom Tracer. So I like how they're kind of doing it here in regards to kind of like less of the mystery and more like just trying to resolve a situation that you know is just going to implode into something much worse if not dealt with, assuredly. And I love how it has impacted a lot of the characters' decisions, like Asimov, Nicola, Strikehawk, Grace, and them. It is really cool to actually see all that come into play now. But anyway, this has been Xanthus Vice. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I'll see you guys next time. We're out.
祈りは神に届けるためのもの。 私は今も祈っていますが、届けたい感情は前とは違う。